Okay, we are live. Hello, May. Thank you for joining us here. So we are doing what we're calling a bit of a therapy painting or something. Let me first say that we are not certified art therapists, and this is not going to be an official clinical session by any means. But really, the idea here is that we're just going to kind of take the pressure off and enjoy painting. And obviously May's going to be here and to walk us through that. So if you are also painting, let us know in the chat. That'd be super fun. If you're listening to fun, relaxing music, let us know in the chat. That'd be kind of cool. And we'll be kind of asking questions here and there. But yeah, this is just going to be very, just a good time. Actually, May, if you want to show the previous one that you did.
Sure.
So this all kind of came about when May shared with us this little study that she did, which is just beautiful, which she did alla prima. And she had been in the midst of her professional work, building up her portfolio, and she just went in and decided to kind of just take it easy and make this painting to bring herself back to the basics and just enjoy painting. And it came out beautifully. And so we don't really know if this painting's going to come out beautifully. I mean, I say that, but obviously, May, you are an incredible artist, so we thank you for that. But we're really just going to take this time. May, you're free to explore, to have fun making this painting. There's no expectations on you to deliver something amazing. We're here to just enjoy this process and maybe come back to why we love making art in the first place, what it's all really about. Mm-hmm. And so I'm excited. And let's get this party started. So May, why don't you show us what you got here?
So I'm doing a little study of this very famous painting of, it's just titled The Fallen Angel, I believe. It's obviously biblically based. So I thought it'd be fun because the last painting I did was also a fallen angel of sorts. And I was like, well, I can do a really nice one. I've always really liked this painting too. It's very angsty and it also has wings, obviously. So it's pretty much everything I need. I'm not thinking of this as a master copy. It's just mostly going to be a study. I think if I think of it too closely as a master copy, I'll get stressed over it, which is the opposite of the point. So, I'm not trying to get super nitty gritty into the details, but I do want to capture a likeness, get all the colors down, render some structure. So I think what I'm going to start with is just blocking in parts of the background, just the parts that are adjacent to the figure and the wing and stuff. And then if I have time at the end, then I'll fill it out. But I do want to kind of define that shape and then start working into the figure. So yeah, just taking this very, very bright color here. As you can see, my palette is very, very nice and full. So hopefully I don't have to do any fumbling around later on.
Awesome. Yes, great to see everyone jumping into the chat, saying hi. Always appreciate the interactions here. So I thought I'd prepare some questions just to kick us off here. Mm-hmm. So I made some notes. I'm going to pull up my phone. Oh, nice to hear that, John Rogers.
What's going on?
I said trying to hook up with evolve artists myself.
Nice.
Yeah, we're here when you're ready to join. So, okay, let's see. What question do I want to start off with? Oh, my sound is very low. Okay, good to hear, Laurel. I will... Can everyone hear me now? Sorry about the low audio there. I think I had my mic off for a second. So I was just going to say that I'm just going to open us up with some questions and just to get started. Great to see the painting move along quickly already, May. All right, here we go. And let me just clarify again, I'm not an art therapist. So May.
Yeah, oh gosh. I don't like the way you prefaced that question with that statement. But yes.
How are you feeling right now? What's the general feeling?
What's the vibe?
What's the vibe? Tell us about the vibe.
The vibe's pretty good. It's funny because, you know, typically you think that if you're doing something in front of an audience, you're like more stressed. But I think honestly, I've kind of settled into live streaming like a pretty decent amount. So there's like no more stress than there would be like if I was just normally painting and like trying to do something all in one sitting. So that's good. I think I've come a long way. Yeah, other than that, kind of just enjoying, once again, like stepping back from the portfolio stuff and just whipping out these colors and just covering large areas of panel at a time. That's always enjoyable. So.
So if you were going to describe how you feel using an Old Holland oil paint color, what would it be?
Is it just like a sponsored question?
Yes, we do use Old Holland paint with our materials, so of course I had to specify.
Do you mean like right now or just like in
Yeah, how you
general?
feel right now?
I'm feeling quite happy, quite content. So I'm probably just gonna pick my favorite color. I really like this ultramarine that they have, the ultramarine blue. It's like very bright, but it's also really dark. And it's just like insanely saturated, and it just like makes me happy when I like put it out on the tube and I start like mixing it with stuff because I realize like how high chroma it is. I don't know. It's like, it's not like bright, but it's just very colorful, and I like that a lot. So, and also I'm like, it's like in these mixtures right now, so it's on my mind.
Awesome. How about everyone else? Let us know if you had to choose an oil paint color. What would it be, and about how you're feeling right now? Alex, I'm always feeling Crimson Lake Deep Extra. It's such a nice color. Yeah, it is.
It is a very nice color. Approved.
Yes, Fallen Angel.
Yes, another one.
Cryptic Art said Mars Black. I love a lot.
Classic.
Oh, here's a question from Donna Pierce. What do you need to know about painting on a panel versus a canvas?
I think panel, generally, I'm not like an expert on substrates or anything. I just use panel more often because one, it's like, it's usually easier to like acquire and like prep. It's kind of like available at like any hardware store. You just have to like cut it down. And then also it requires like less paint to cover the surface because like canvas has like all this like kind of texture, or like any cloth really. So in general, like I need like a lot less, I have to mix like less paint, which is like nicer, it's more convenient for me at least. And it just takes less to cover. So there's not like a particular skill set or anything you need to use panel instead of canvas or anything. It's just like a kind of preference thing. So I hope that answers the question. At least that's just how I would answer it.
Anyone else care to describe how they're feeling using an Old Holland paint color? Okay, Sarah Price said, always love working with deep reds, but feeling kind of vibrant purple today.
Ooh.
So I wonder where that purple's coming from, Sarah. Is it like just like a shade of melancholy or a shade of depth? What could it be? I don't know.
In this episode where we all
Makes me wonder.
psychoanalyze each other. So I'm just gonna be kind of blocking in the shadows and then more selectively painting the lights. I think that's the plan. But who knows?
Yeah, that's actually perfect. So RJD just shared, if May, you could explain your thoughts as you go through the steps, like as you're painting.
Yeah.
And I'll say, you know, we're here to kind of, for you to just, again, just relax and enjoy. So if it feels a bit too educational for you, then that's fine. But we do love to hear your thoughts as you're painting, what's going through your mind. That'd be great. But Sarah said, actually kind of joyful, that the purples is like a bit of joyful, which is cool. Nice. A joyful purple. A vibrant, joyful purple. I like that. How am I feeling? I didn't even ask myself that question. I think like a salmon color, like something that you would see on a
sushi menu. I'm kidding.
It would
Sorry.
be.
That was like
sure.
really dumb. My bad. But sorry. Continue.
So if I would had to describe the color, it's the kind of color that you might see after sun showers in the afternoon, and then it's just fading into a sunset, but it's not quite sunset level, but you're starting to see the temperature shift show up in the clouds, like a little bit of that salmon hue in the clouds. That's kind of the color that I'm feeling right now. So it's like a creamy, yeah, like a sunset kind of salmon, but not too vivid. It's something that harmonizes very nicely with blues. It's like a more creamy, lighter salmon. Cookworm said, Team Ultramarine all the way.
Yes.
Seeing some ultramarine in the color you're putting down right there.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see quite a bit of it in the reference as well. Donna said, teal and salmon colors, once mixed, make me happy. Mm-hmm. Good question from Edie. Do you only use opaque paints, or do you also use transparent and semi-transparent paints? They are actually, there is a variety. I should know offhand which one is what. I know that the ultramarine blue is not a complete opaque. It's either semi-transparent or transparent, but we use it in our opaque set for Evolve. So when it goes down, if it goes down by itself, then it would be a little bit difficult to cover. But if you're mixing it in with other things, then it would cover just fine. But yes, you can use semi-transparent and even transparent paint opaquely, but you would typically, ideally, you'd be mixing it in with another more opaque color, so that you get even coverage.
Yeah, so I basically going up values. This side of the palette is like the stuff is all like the wing, and then this stuff is all like the figure, and then it's gonna borrow a lot of the stuff from the wing. So I think I'm just gonna block in most of the wing and then kind of move into the figure It'll help me make sense of the colors better because a lot of these colors are like here but like darker. So it'll be a good way to like contextualize the figure, I think. Yeah. So I use these two. Next up is probably this one. It'll be a temperature shift as well, so that'll help me figure out where the warmer sections like start and end and how they kind of meld into the cooler ones that I'm like marking down to. So this is like our darkest warm shadow, I guess.
I'm sorry, which one?
This purple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the our camera on the palette is leaning a bit warm, everyone. The palette is actually like the gray paper is actually like a neutral gray, and it's appearing a bit red on my screen. And I'm afraid I can't change that during this stream without actually. Maybe I can. I'm going to try to make some adjustments here for everybody. In the meantime, I'm going to set up a little poll because I'm curious. One of the things I'd like to talk about during the stream, May, is kind of about like why we do this. Why it matters, and I think that's pretty important. Because it's there's something, I believe there's something kind of in us that just compels us to create and to do this, and it can be the thing that wakes us up sometimes and motivates us to not only create things but then go about doing other things because you created something. Mm-hmm. And so it's pretty powerful. So but I'm in that sort of vein about like why I'm curious to hear from everyone like why you're passionate about art. Like, why does it matter to you? And I'm not expecting like a general answer here, but just for everyone personally, why it matters to you. If you thought about it and have maybe a personal reason why it matters. And even on that vein, again with this theme of this live stream, I imagine a lot of people paint to reduce stress. So I'd be curious to hear like the different reasons why people paint. And I'll create a poll here to see how many people have come into art looking to reduce stress. So we'll see how that goes, and then I'll see if I can fix that one camera for everybody.
So I'm using this purple as like not only, to kind of fill the places where I see it, like in the feathers, but also as a way to transition these cooler shadows into areas that are going to be warmer lights. So I'm kind of setting up that transition in like a lot of these places. And so that's just kind of like signposting for myself, which I do quite often.
Oh, that palette looks so much better. Thank you for bearing with me, everyone. Okay, so far we're at 50% of people who got into art to reduce stress. And 17 votes. Pretty cool.
It's a very solid percentage, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm catching up on the chat here. John Rogers said, art is spiritual for me. Or I'm guessing I'm seeing spiritual, but I'm guessing that means spiritual. Personally, this is from Christopher. Personally, I feel very fulfilled when finishing a painting. I don't know why, though. I'm more positive, happy, bouncy. Glenn said to escape. Bookworm said, it feels amazing to create something from nothing. Yeah, absolutely. Cryptic Art said, I have speech problems. I use art in a way to talk. Steve said, being a person who suffers chronic pain, it really is a therapy for me. I titled my first painting, Distraction Therapy. Wow. Edie said, I want to paint so I can show how life can be and ought to be, to show how humankind can hold heaven in its hands right here on earth. Wow. That's cool. So there's a real purpose for Edie there. Melanie said, it is a meditation for me. Donna said, art has been a part of my life from infancy, I'm told. So I feel off balance if I go too long without creating. It just feels good. I love it, and it's like what I'm supposed to be doing. Wow, that's cool. So that's very much like connected to who you are, Donna. That's pretty cool to see. The Art Asylum said, to be able to express in a way that can't be silenced or filtered by anyone or anything. This is cool. People have really thought about this, you know? It's fun to hear this.
I want to see what these people are painting.
Right,
Like
yeah.
with all these like very profound purposes.
Yeah. Yeah, people have websites or Instagram URLs that you want to share here. You're welcome to. That'd be pretty cool. Cheryl said, art has been a way of life for me. Painting gets me so excited and happy. It's similar for me in the way extreme exercise gives you an endorphin high. Very cool. And we're now at 59%, 27 votes saying not me for reducing stress. So, but 43, yes, now it's just changed again. 43% of people make art to reduce stress. Wow. That is honestly bigger than I was expecting. So May, would you say that you are painting what you are feeling right now? Or are they not the same for you? Like what you paint and what you feel, are they always correlated or not always? And right now, is it correlated? Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it's not always correlated. I guess if you mean like subject-wise or like how I'm feeling when I paint wise, like does it match the subject or anything? That's usually like no. Usually like when I'm painting, I'm not really like in a very emotional state. I'm just like focusing really. And so it's like, there's like that little, it's like constant like observation and then critique and then recovery and just like that endless cycle, like the feedback loop of painting that in my own head. So it's not really a very like emotional process, I would say. But I mean, right now I am in that focused state, but I am really enjoying these colors because like most of the time I don't, like in what I paint, I don't get to mix colors that are super bright like this and have like such a like, you know, such a crazy range. So like usually, you know, there's like a lot of skin tones and things are very atmospheric and there's like a lot of depth and like drop off and like the lighting's like more neutral and it's just very, overall like not like super like vibrant, which is fine. They make for very like subtle and like elegant images, but this is just like a very nice departure because like when I'm mixing paint, I'm like almost used to like automatically like reducing the chroma of like something I put down. But this is like, yeah, this is literally just purple or this is literally just blue and it's kind of great. So, yeah.
Do you think that has something to do with the fact that you're doing like a master copy right now?
I mean, yeah, it's nice because I don't have to like defend my color choices. Like, oh, this is like literally what I saw. This is like the reference. It's like, no, this is like a professional, and this image has lasted forever because people think it's great, and these are the colors, and like that's pretty nice.
So it helps you be more confident
Yeah.
with the bolder colors. That's cool. Yeah, and just for people's information, I might butcher the pronunciation, but this master copy painting is The Fallen Angel by Alexandre Cabanel? 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 I don't know.
I don't know either.
But I'll drop it in the chat so that you give him due respect.
I actually came across like fan art that was based on this image, like before the actual like reference for like the actual art. Because like a lot of people were like redrawing this as like their favorite like angsty character from like whatever like show or like movie they were watching. And I was like, why? I was like, these are great, but like, why are they all in the same pose? And then I would like read into the captions a little bit more, and I was like, oh, they're all based on this one. And then I like checked it out, and I was like, ah, this is perfect. It's all like classical and Baroque, and it has wings. So
Yeah, it's right up your alley.
yes.
I'm just going to catch up on the chat here. So, Alex Tan said, I think it's just awesome to be able to create something of beauty out of nothing. So that sounds very similar to Cookworm, which is cool. Barbie said, I walk my dogs in the woods to relieve stress. Nice. Donna said, I can't not create. It's the fabric of who I am. When I didn't for 6 years, I was clinically depressed and physically ill. Wow. Started painting again and was better. Wow, that's really cool. May, did you freehand the underdrawing?
No, I used a transfer, but it's like, excuse me, it's much less refined than usual.
Was that intentional?
Yeah.
To give yourself a little bit more liberty in the choices you make, I guess?
Yeah. So I could think of it more of like as like a study rather than a copy. So I just have like the main structural parts, but like I don't have like all the exact feathers or anything, or like shapes of the colors in the feathers. Also, like literally just because this painting is like smaller, so it'd be kind of hard to figure out what mark is what if they're all like very condensed. So.
And yes, Cheryl, May is painting on a gesso board. It's kind of like masonite from a hardware store, yeah. We have Lowe's nearby, so we pick them up from there and then gesso them ourselves, cut them down. Anne said, I think when I'm stressed or upset emotionally, I tend to freeze, stuck and unproductive. I guess my emotions do affect my art and general happiness. Oh, I see a little bit of orange coming into the wing there on top.
That's green, actually.
Is it green?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's just like relative because this is so cool. It reads a little bit
Oh, I love that.
as orange. Yeah.
It's relationships.
It's right here. That's what I'm using.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome how, yeah, color theory in action. Absolutely. It's pretty amazing how, you just colors are not what they seem when you put them in relation to each other. Like I'm seeing, it seems a little bit orange to me because the rest of what you put in so far is very cool, and that green is warmer.
Right.
And so it's reading as a kind of an orange to me. It's fascinating. Even though it's actually green. Edie, it's not the gesso board brand, we make it ourselves. But the Gesso board brand is good quality. So May, going back to why we're painting this fallen angel. So you said you had just bumped into studies that are based off of this, and that's how you found this?
Yeah, there are like pieces of fan art. So people redrawing their favorite characters. Not really studies, more just like, oh, I'm gonna just change the hair color and like skin tone and call it this character. But I thought it was pretty cool as an image. And then I found the real one, and I was like, that's even better. So, yeah.
Awesome. You just bumped into those studies on Instagram or something?
Yeah,
Or were you
Instagram.
okay, so you weren't specifically searching for more angel art or paintings?
No. Back in like quarantine during like 2020, I had a very big Attack on Titan phase. Andrew, Daniel knows this, and yeah, so like most of my feed on my art account was just like fan art for Attack on Titan, because that's like all I was interacting with and like looking for. And they started doing this of like Levi Ackerman like a lot because he's a very angsty character. And I was like, oh my god, he has wings and he looks so angry and hurt. Wow. And then I saw like even more, I forget like the other characters. I think someone did one of like Batman. A bunch of people were doing them of like their own like original characters, which is pretty cool. But yeah, basically it got pretty popular. What?
Dark Star said, I got into art to increase stress 1,000%.
So true.
JK, she said. That's funny. It is interesting, right? Because for some people, art can actually be more stressful, right? If they're trying to do it professionally or trying to,
Yeah.
if you have deadlines or if you're trying to create something that you don't quite maybe have a plan for, and so you're stressing out about how you're going to get there and arrive at that destination. So I think that can happen quite a bit as well, which is interesting. Some people come to art to reduce their stress, and other people, they just dive right in, knowing that they might be a little bit more stressed out because it could be a challenge to create the thing that they want to create, but it's still rewarding in the end. It's pretty interesting how people can look at it in different ways. All right, I'm going to end the poll here. 39 votes. Thank you, everyone. So we got 54% was not me. So 54% of people did not go into art because of stress, or to reduce stress, I say. So pretty fascinating. But 46, that's a big number. Big number. Darkstar said, it's great as a hobby, but once you pass that stage of a quote-unquote confident beginner and start to understand what you're trying to do, you start to notice every little thing that you need to improve on.
Yeah.
And that actually kind of comes again back to, for those of you who have just joined, why we're doing this, right? Because May's been doing a whole bunch of her professional work, working quite a few hours just on her own on these paintings. And so this is kind of a way for May to de-stress here and just paint something. It's if I may speak for you,
Yeah.
it's relatively easier for you to make this painting it is as it's a master copy.
Right.
So it's something that she can learn from, but also a lot of the painting decisions have already been made by Alexandre Cabanel. And so, yeah, she can really just relax here and just paint this and enjoy it without having those pressures of, okay, I need to make this next painting, you know, amazing, and it's got to drop jaws when people see it, and it's going to be my, you know, 10th painting in my portfolio that's going to have this theme, blah, blah, blah. None of that is really involved here. This is just painting and enjoying it. I know for me, when I have those moments, I really like to tap into how it feels. And I tend to forget it when I'm painting often, but when I haven't painted for a while and I come back in to paint, that's one of the first things I notice is just how good it feels, like the snap of the brush when you're putting it on the panel or the canvas, and then you let go, and that you feel that pressure release, and you can kind of feel the weight of the paint leaving the brush.
Mm-hmm. You're imparting energy upon the substrate.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and it has like a visual footprint. It's kind of nice.
Mm-hmm. The closest I've come to be able to describe it is like the paint lifting off the brush, which physically doesn't really make sense, like lifting off, but
I know what you mean.
the paint is kind of, the paint sort of, it hits the panel, and then as the brush is coming away, the paint is trying to follow the bristles of the brush, like, no, don't leave me.
Yeah.
And then the brush continues to leave, and so it kind of just like leaves the paint kind of hanging.
The abandonment of the paint is Daniel's favorite.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else relates to that feeling. Maybe I'm too in the thick of it.
No, I get it.
Oh, I see well, I'm going to say it looks red to me.
Yes, this is actual red now.
I can say now I'm not so sure.
I like gaslight you into thinking it's still not red. That'd be pretty intense.
Actually, it's green. What?
No. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Yeah, I guess I don't know how to catch everyone up, but basically I just went from cooler and darker to like warmer and lighter along the palette.
We went from cooler and darker to warmer and lighter.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Relatively.
Right, of course. It's all relative.
I feel like I have to say that.
Yeah. Real quick, I'm getting a request to play a song in the background. So I encourage everyone, if you want, listen to your own music and pick your own playlist. But we want to, just for everyone's sake, we've found it's easier to just let everyone play whatever music they want to listen to. And then that way it's a little bit easier for people to hear. Some people don't like having music, things like that. But anyways, getting back into this. So cooler and darker, warmer and lighter. So to kind of, and May, don't feel like you have to explain this, because I don't know if that feels, I don't know. I'll just explain here. So with what's going on a technical level is that in the wing, the shadows are cool, and there's this warm reflection, which you could argue is could be coming off of the body of the fallen angel. And so cool shadows with warm reflections. And so where that red is coming in would be where the light is hitting the body and then bouncing into the wing, which would then be bouncing into our eyes. And so across the whole painting, as a generalization, you could say that the shadows are cool, the lights are warm. Inside of the shadows, any reflections are going to be relatively warm. And then any highlights inside of the lights will be relatively cool compared to the lights. And so it's sort of like I I think of it like a W almost, like it kind of just bounces back and forth
Right.
with its temperatures. And sometimes that can help me with the decisions that I want to make when I'm painting. A question from Edie, are shadows cool outdoors but warm indoors? It could be.
Yeah.
Usually shadows will be cooler outdoors because of the warmer sun. And the shadows will get even cooler relative to the lights when the sun starts going down, when you have that golden hour and things like that. But indoors, you could have like a fluorescent lighting situation where if the lights are kind of like a bluish, cooler color, and then maybe the sun is out and there's sun pouring through the window, then maybe some of that ambient light from the sun is bouncing into the shadows that are not touched by the fluorescent light bulb. And so in that case, you might have a warm shadows. But it's not always, it can really depend on the environment. See, I'm just catching up with the chat here. Talking again about why people are making art and why it matters to them. Christopher said it wasn't a conscious choice for me, and when I chose no, it was just there anyways. I used to get punished in school because I just keep drawing on my notebooks during class. Yeah, so it sounds like it's very much a part of you.
L teacher.
That's definitely something I've been hearing throughout these responses. That is very connected to who we are, being creators, which is cool. Sarah Price said, this is why I do my own paintings. In between Evolve assignments, I can continue to solidify the skills, but without the pressure. Yeah. Yeah, in Evolve, we're pretty serious about developing the skills, and so we really encourage our students to deliver their absolute best and, put in, everything and be very thoughtful about the work and do everything to the best quality, most realistic as possible, so it can be more technical and challenging. And so, taking that time to simply, kick back and enjoy painting and just have fun moving the brush around, absolutely, can be a nice way to recenter yourself and remind yourself why you're developing those skills at all, right? So it's pretty cool. Debbie said, making art was a good counterpoint to nursing school and then a career as a nurse. And a question from Edie, for you, May, do you like a smooth finish on your paintings, or do you like to see some surface texture?
It depends on the subject. Like if it's for like a kind of polished like illustration, where it's like a whole like very complete scene, and you want like the whole image to feel like one entity, one image of like another reality or something. You don't want anything really like jumping out. But if it's something like looser, like maybe like a portrait or even like master copies or studies and stuff like that, some texture can be nice. Yeah. So it really depends. Usually on like my portraits, I have like tiny bits of texture, like extreme like highlights in the hair or something, or like maybe if their clothing's really textured or something like that. But in general, I like to have like a nice finish. Yeah, I would say in general. I do like very selective bits of impasto though, very, very selective. That's part of what makes it fun, I think. If you just put it everywhere, then it's like, okay, like we get it, you like globs of paint. But if it's like, tasteful, I think that's very nice.
Yeah. Once again, when you have, if anyone remembers that moment in the Incredibles movie when Elastigirl, I forget her name, but the mom, she's talking to Dash, and she says, everyone's special, Dash. And Dash says, it's the same way as saying nobody is.
Right.
It's kind of the same thing, right? Especially with art, right? Because we use these different colors, how one blue, like the blues are playing off and making the green feel a little bit warmer, things like that. And so if the entire painting is impasto, then it might not be as apparent within the painting. Whereas if you have some parts that are smooth and then other parts that are impasto, then you could create a more dynamic relationship inside of your painting. But then another way to look at it is maybe if your painting is impasto all across, then if you're comparing, say, one person's art to another person's art, you could say, oh, this person, their work is heavily impasto, and so now you're making a relationship between one person's art and another person's art. But you could also create that same relationship inside of one painting itself, where there's impasto some places and then not in others. And a lot of the masters would build up their lights with impasto, but they would leave their shadows much smoother, and the light would sort of the light bouncing off of the painting would be absorbed by the shadows, and you'd see these rich colors, murky colors in there, and then the lights would just be bouncing back, just radiating, because of the lead white that they would use and the more heavily opaque areas would help the painting really kind of glow and have that kind of dynamic relationship. Sarah Price said, "I'm very grateful for the way Evolve pushes us to be our best. The journey has been amazing." That's awesome. Yeah, and for everyone here, if you're curious about what Evolve is, you can check out the links in our description. We've got some free mini courses, more information on what Evolve is, the kind of training program that we do. May went through, so she learned under Kevin Murphy, who's the founder of Evolve, and she's here at the brick and mortar school that Kevin also runs, and that's been around for a while, where Kevin has perfected his curriculum, and then we've taken it online through Evolve Artist. And so we've got people all over the world now learning these skills, which is just super cool. And I imagine a lot of you are from different places as well. From Cheryl, about how long do you give yourself to mix the correct amount of paint and set up your palette? That's a good question.
I don't really set a time limit for myself. Honestly, mixing paint is probably like the most important part of coming into paint, because if you don't have the right colors, then nothing you do is going to be correct. So I tend to take my time when I mix paint, and usually I determine like the amounts like after. Sometimes if it takes me more tries to get a color right, like it'll be more paint because I'm like adding more stuff. But for like correct amount, I mean, if you think about it, you're really just, every time you paint, you're just covering like a 2D surface with like a very like thin coat of paint. So honestly, you don't like need that much in general. So I try to keep that in mind and like not like waste paint, but at the same time, like don't be super frugal in the name of like saving paint and then end up not mixing the correct colors or anything because you're afraid of like using paint in general. But I guess like for the timeliness question, again, like I don't really set a limit for myself because I see it as pretty much the most important part of a painting session. It's getting those colors right so that you can apply them correctly. Mm-hmm. Because like no matter how good you are at making gradients or like covering like your canvas or your panel or whatever, if it's with the wrong colors, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to build, to like, especially if you're learning, it's really, like if you think of it as an investment, right? Like investing in your skills, right? If you're a beginner and you're still learning how to mix colors and do it in a timely manner, and so you start timing yourself and hoping to be, faster at it, well, if you give yourself that time limit, then you could potentially start rushing yourself about mixing your colors and getting them right. And then you get into the painting, and then the painting has its own issues in a large part because the colors were not mixed correctly. And so it's better to really just put your focus on getting it right. And if you have a process for mixing and seeing the color for what it is and everything like that, and if you get it right, you will eventually get faster. It will just take more time.
Right.
But the thing is that you are developing a good habit of getting it right, and then it's easy, so much easier to be faster at it when you know you've got it right. And so experience will just take care of that. But that's the same for, how long you should take on a painting and everything like that. Really, just take your time, get it right, do it to the best of your ability. You will get faster as you build more experience. But if you're rushing the painting and trying to finish it within a certain amount of time, then that will likely become your focus instead of, giving your very best and leaving it all on the canvas there. So that's what we recommend as trainers in Evolve. Question from Cookworm. Daniel and May, do either of you have favorite subjects you gravitate towards for painting? I wonder what May's is.
I really could not tell you. I bet you couldn't tell me either. No. I like wings and I like angst and like general action scenes, dynamic poses, that sort of thing. Yeah, anything that's like vaguely melancholy and potentially narrative, I enjoy. If you were here for the last live stream, you would. Someone like asked me like why I picked the subject of like a figure with one wing, like pretty much every stream, and I would explain it like this is just literally what I like. So yeah, it's pretty much all I have to say there.
Awesome. Yeah, for me, I like making paintings that communicate a story and paintings that are worth contemplating with maybe some meaning. Where one way I used to put it when I was younger was I like my paintings to ask more questions than give answers. Creating a dialogue, creating discussion, making people think. And integrating story into that makes it so much easier. Like what's going on? Like if like for this painting, right? This you could argue it's a figure painting, but it's also pretty narrative. Like why is the fallen angel so upset? Where are these emotions coming from? It just starts to make you really think and imagine the bigger picture that this one snapshot is alluding to. And so it kind of invites the mind to really engage and creates a dialogue with the viewer. I think that's the kind of stuff that I get fired up over. Loving those colors, May.
Thank you. They're so rich.
So I have to ask.
Oh boy. Yeah. What's up?
How does this painting make you feel?
I'm very happy with it because.
Oh, good.
Like, you mean like this or like this? Oh, this so far, it's like I don't know. I feel I mixed this paint like a while ago because I knew I would take a long time because there are like many colors, and I feel like it's like stiffening up on me a little bit, so it's like a little harder to work with.
Okay.
So my brush is picking it up as I'm like moving it across the panel sometimes, which is kind of annoying. But other than that, everything's going pretty well. And like once I go down to a smaller brush too, because usually I work from like big brush to small brush like throughout like a painting session. It forces me to like look for the bigger shapes and stuff first, and then refine instead of getting like caught up in details. But once I like move down and put in like some nice details, some crispy edges, like yeah, I think it'll come together pretty nicely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's looking great so far.
Thank you.
Is you had mentioned the paint sort of starting to dry up and stiffen up on you?
A little bit. It might just be how like this particular brush is interacting with it too. But I don't want to like
stiffer brush.
But I don't want to go through because like it doesn't look like it's doing anything wrong. I think it's more like the paint because I didn't put any medium in it because usually I just don't do that. But that means it dries faster because there's no extra oil in it to play against the air. So, but it's okay.
So I've pulled up an article about common questions that therapists would ask, and so to follow up about this this problem that you're facing.
Oh boy.
This is so bad.
I don't even know what's going on right now.
Not offensive to the therapist, but the question here is, how does this problem make you feel, May? Why don't you tell us?
This
Are
problem.
you feeling stressed out that it's creating this problem, or is it like water like falling off a rock?
It's like like this painting is like not a huge deal. So if the texture of it isn't like spectacular, it's like fine because I'm more doing this as like a color, texture, composition, angry man with wings, like exploration than like a, like physical paint density, like realism, aspiring thing. So, and like also I know what's causing the problem, which always makes that feel a little better. So I'm not like, where is this coming from? It's like, I know what happens. So that helps. So I'm not like mad about it. I'm just like, it'd be nice if this wasn't happening, but it is. And like, I'm not too pressed, so. And I don't think they can like even see it on camera. Like there are some areas where it's just like not super consistent, but it would be nice if this paint was really thick.
It almost looks like a watercolor.
Yeah, like around here, right? I think also because a decent amount of the paints that were mixed into these are like transparent, so they're kind of interacting with like opaques, and overall it's probably not as dense as I'm like used to. So that's like another part. Yeah, in general, like if I know what's causing the problems, they become like much less emotionally stimulating. I think that's just life. So yeah, even if you can't like really do anything about it, it's like, well, I know why it happened and I know how to like not have it happen next time, or I have like a better idea of that. So it's like good.
And so how would you avoid that next time if you wanted to avoid that?
Probably wouldn't mix paint super early, and maybe use like just put out less transparents so I don't like gravitate towards them while I'm mixing, because like I could, there are like a million different ways to mix the same color just using different combinations of different colors. So if I just relied on like what was in the opaque set, it would have been fine.
How long ago did you mix those colors?
Like 4 hours ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, it is 8 o'clock.
Okay. That was fast. What? Okay. It's okay though.
Well, on the bright side, May, the transparency in your shadows will play nicely when you get into the lights. It's because I imagine naturally the lights, just looking at your palette here, it looks like your lights are much more opaque and denser.
Yeah.
And so actually that kind of goes back into what we talked about earlier, having these relationships and things, using impastos and not impastos. And so here, if you're working with these semi-transparent colors, even if it doesn't feel great right now as you're putting it in, it's not, doing exactly, the brush is not interacting with the paint exactly the way you want to, you might find that overall, it actually creates an effect that lends itself to more depth in the painting, right? Where the shadows on that wing are receding, falling back. And then what you're working on right now, let's see. There we go. The wing there and where the light is hitting I don't know what that would be, the edge of the wing.
Right.
That's going to help it come forward once we have more context in the painting.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I definitely feel better.
good. Maybe I should become a therapist.
You totally should. You have like a very like calming and like positive demeanor, just like without even trying. So, like if you wanted to, like I feel like you definitely could.
Oh, thank you. Wow, I feel so blessed.
I mean, yeah, I figured you would know that, but you know, I guess it always hits different when like someone acknowledges it and says it to you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. We are moving into the lights, kind of.
Cool.
I feel bad because there was like that one person who asked for explanations, but we've been like talking about other stuff the whole time. But
Yeah, so
generally,
you've blocked in the shadows in the wing, and you've been playing around with the different colors that you've been seeing there that are in the reference, and I'll pull the reference up again for everyone to see. And so you can see, for those of you who are looking at the reference right now, you can see the variations in color that are there, and there's that bit of warmth, that red, generally in the center of in that shadowed area of the wing, and it feels very natural because of the way that the light is falling, where the light could be hitting the back of the angel and then bouncing into that concave wing there. And then of course you have where May is painting now, you have part of that on the inside of that wing is in the light as well, which she's now getting into. So she's been moving. She did shadows first, then she did the light on the edge of the wing, and now she's doing the light on the inside of the wing there that's connecting to the back. And in Evolve, we really break down our paintings in that way. It helps simplify the painting and make it more manageable. Just, seeing where are the shadows, where are the lights, and that makes it so much easier to make decisions based on, because there are principles about light and shadow that we can, by understanding how light works, it makes it just so much easier. So you're kind of narrowing down your options. For instance, all shadows, generally speaking, are darker than all of your lights because there's less light interacting with that area. And so when you're mixing your colors, you know to make all of your shadows darker. And if maybe you're trying to match a color that you're seeing and you're not quite getting the color right, maybe the color is actually, or the hue is actually fine, but you need to go down in value to make it fit and belong in that space.
We'll probably be talking less now that I realize an hour has gone by. So,
Sure. So this question from Dina, and I can answer, May, if you want to focus a bit on painting.
sure.
So Dina is asking, have you ever lost the lines of some small details that were really important and were not able to redraw them freehand? Is there a strategy other than freehand drawing to get them back? So I'm sure that there are ways, but it's really tough to retransfer on top of something unless it's possible, but it's not ideal. Like, what I would advise is get really confident at freehand drawing. You can develop those skills. That's not something that you have to be born with to have that ability. You can absolutely learn how to freehand, how to draw things, and in Evolve we teach that. We don't call it freehand drawing, we call it proportional drawing, but that's essentially what you're doing. So how it works is you look up at, you don't have a photograph as reference, you have real three-dimensional objects like an apple or a ball, on a table that is lit by a nice light source, and you are comparing the proportions of the shapes that you're seeing up there to each other, and then you are then translating those proportions over to your drawing. So you might not be the same exact size on your own drawing, but the proportions will still be accurate, all relative to each other. So we call it proportional drawing. But what you're doing there is you're basically training your eyes how to see shapes in relationship to each other. And that's an incredibly important skill as an artist. And if you want to, continue to develop your skills and get to the next level, like you've probably heard it said a million times over that you have to learn how to draw in order to become an artist or get into painting or something like that. And in Evolve, we actually start people off with painting and then get into drawing later. But really what people are referring to there is the ability to see relationships critically. That's really a big part of what drawing is. Like drawing is not using a pencil to make marks. It's understanding the relationships between things and creating those shapes all in proper relationship to each other. And that ability to see relationships critically, and I talk about this in one of our YouTube videos that I can share in a moment, that is so essential to painting, because as we're looking at all these beautiful color relationships going on in this wing right now, those are relationships that May is managing. She's seen them in the painting, and then she's recreated them. She's keeping them. The values really similar to each other. There's just making minor departures from each other, but they're all, for the most part, very cohesive. They're all around the same value, but the colors are slightly different, but they're not too different, right? They're just very well married together. And so she's managing these relationships. She's not managing those relationships like in the world of shapes. She's thinking about them in terms of color and value. But you also have relationships with your edges, or you have relationships with, like I said earlier, impasto versus thinner paint. And so it's all about relationships. And when you create like a highway in your brain for seeing relationships critically, then you become so much of a better artist. And that translates over into so many other areas of painting that go beyond simply freehand drawing. And so for that reason, Dina, I really just recommend that you focus on developing those skills, continue to practice proportional drawing, and really just hone that, because eventually the transfer lines are gone. You won't have them anymore, but you'll continue to need to make adjustments to get the painting to be where you want it to be. The transfer, it only lasts for a bit of time as you're just putting in your general shapes. But then you've got to create gradients, and those gradients are going to cover over those lines, and you're not going to have them anymore to rely on. And gradients can kind of, as you're moving the brush, they can push back or forth, and you need to replace them back in that same spot. And so, again, much, much easier to simply develop your skills to be able to be confident in your freehand drawing. And again, it can be taught. And in Evolve, we have our students learning those things, and it's kind of uncanny. That's like, we don't even talk about it. We don't talk about it enough, but our students just go through it, and suddenly they're all making incredible, accurate drawings. And but we're so focused on painting that we don't even think about it very much. But that plays a huge role in the quality of realism that we see by the end of our foundation program. A site size method is a good way. I talk about that in the same video. I do compare our method to site size briefly. So in site size, you are comparing the relationships between the objects that you're seeing to what you're trying to draw on your canvas. Whereas in the proportional method that we're teaching you how to see, let's say that there's a sphere and a can on the table. You're looking at the sphere and you're assessing its size in relation to the can, or vice versa. And so you could scale up or down those proportions and have them any size that you want on the canvas. But it's essentially the same thing. But so site size, there's nothing wrong with it. We just found that we do the proportional drawing because it just helps to see relationships a little bit more quickly, we found. I hope that makes sense. I can be very verbose when I'm explaining things. That's cool to hear, Cookworm. Cookworm said, Daniel, your explanation of drawing gives me hope to be able to draw.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no reason why you shouldn't be. Wait, hold on. There's no reason. There's too many negatives in that sentence. You can be confident that you can be able to draw and you can get better at drawing. Because I've seen it happen over and over and over again through the Evolve program. Love that little bit of yellow you put into the back of the wing there. It helps really reinforce that it's coming from the warm light that we're about to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's 8:20.
Oh my gosh.
Remember, no stress.
I'm like not allowed to feel stress.
You're not allowed to be stressed, but also we're trying to finish this painting in a certain deadline.
I know.
So it's kind of, I don't know how counterintuitive that is.
Oh. Okay, I'm just gonna start the figure.
Which actually just leads to a great discussion. What do you find, May? Actually, no. May, you're not allowed to answer this question.
Okay.
For the audience,
Happy with that.
May's going to focus on her painting. She's going to just be in her little happy space.
Yes, happy. I'm kidding, I'm fine.
That's sarcasm, right?
It's okay.
No, not at all.
I'm moving. I am speed. That's what I'm telling myself.
It's like that Instagram reel trend. It's like,
Yeah.
"Aww."
Yeah. Yeah, I hope no one else knows what we're talking about. I know Alex does, but it's okay. It's a great sound effect. Anyone else, if you know what I'm talking about, no, you don't. So.
Okay, so question for the audience. May, you're not allowed to answer.
Lovely.
What aspects about painting makes you feel stressed as opposed to times when you're painting and you feel at peace? What are the factors that contribute to making you feel stressed when you're working on a painting versus when you're working on a painting and you're simply enjoying it and having a good time? Would love to hear people's articulated thoughts on this. Like, another way to ask it almost would be, when you want to de-stress and make something that you enjoy, what kind of environment do you create for yourself to make sure that you won't be stressed out? So let me know your thoughts in the comments. I find that for me, and this is where it's a bit counterintuitive for May, is having a deadline can really create a lot of stress.
I have no idea what you're talking about, actually. I have no experience with deadlines of completion whatsoever. Now we're chilling.
And sometimes, in the right environment, that kind of like deadline can be a good thing.
Yeah.
For a painting that requires a bit of, well, for lack of a better word, a little bit of stress to feel challenged and motivated to tackle it and, give it your best. Christopher said, performance valuation by potential audience. Yeah, absolutely. So, what other people are going to think about the painting. Yep, that's it's yet another one. And so
Being perceived.
for
Gosh.
May's sake, everyone, to remind you all that we have no expectations here. May is just painting. It'll be nice if she makes something incredible. I mean, already I think that wing is looking really nice. Excited to see what it's going to look like in greater context as she fills more things out. But already I think it's looking great. So thank you, May.
Thank you.
But there's no expectation, right? This is a safe time just for May to paint and relax, except for the fact that there is a bit of a deadline. I'm so mean.
All the counterintuitions.
Yeah, I know.
Coming together.
I'm just thinking like, okay, how can we do a live stream where everyone is watching, the whole world?
The whole world is watching, but like you're not allowed to be stressed.
And you're not allowed to
Also,
be
you have to
stressed.
finish a whole painting,
So-
start to finish.
Art therapy painting session. It's perfect,
Exactly.
right? It's the perfect solution.
I am the right person for this, I promise. I've actually gotten a lot better about like being stressed while painting, I think. I just have too many experiences where like I get stressed and then like I get worse and I'm like, you're not allowed to do that anymore. So I literally have just like undone that reaction. I'm like, being stressed is not productive. Therefore, stop being stressed.
Yeah, that's very true.
Very utilitarian.
Yeah, when you let the stress really get to you, it becomes super paralyzing.
Yeah. So.
Trina said, stress comes when I don't know how to mix the right color right away.
Yeah,
That's
I was
interesting.
struggling with the color earlier, and then Kevin walked by and he was like, add magenta, and then I added magenta, and it was perfect, and I was so angry, but you know, it's okay.
That anger was your reaction?
Yeah, I was like, why? You didn't even look at my palette. You didn't even look at the reference. You just said magenta, and I listened to you because I'm silly. But
Did you feel like a
But he was right.
fallen angel, perhaps?
yeah, I lost a good piece of my dignity. It fell.
You put your arm over your lower face.
Yeah, and I started
glared.
crying. And my other eye turned like absolutely demonic, and it was great. I'm like, you know too much. I'm like, you're not allowed to just like know that everything needs magenta or whatever the rule is. It's fine. It
So
helped.
the therapist in me is now trying to go deeper and find the root. So this is ultimately why we're making this painting, right, May? How do I put this? So we've got this fallen angel
Yeah, me.
who, right, May, okay.
Me.
No,
Kidding.
This is blasphemy, but let's say that Kevin is a form of an art god, right? And so May discovers that she doesn't have the same level of understanding that the art god Kevin has.
The art god, Kevin.
And so
I'm sure he loves that. Sorry.
in response, May feels indignant, upset,
Yeah.
angry that she cannot rise to the same level of
God.
godliness. And so she plummets down.
That is all.
Let's stop there. This is how you really feel, May, isn't it? This is why we're making this painting right now. Oh yeah, I'm sure Kevin is cringing right now. Like, no, don't compare me to God, please.
Kevin's not watching.
No thunderbolts, please.
Kevin's taking a nap. That's what he told us before he left.
I think a big differentiator between, Kevin and calling him an art god is Kevin really worked for his skills.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It wasn't an inherent part of who he was. He really worked hard at it through sheer dedication to get where he is, and a lot of his experience has made it seem like he can kind of be godly in some moments where he's just dropping in that one word like magenta and
ruining everyone's day. I'm kidding. No, we love Kevin.
or May, you could be thankful that Kevin was there for you.
Look, but it's not funny. I'm kidding. It's all for the content, Daniel. I have to play this indignant apprentice bit.
Kevin just texted me. He said, "Oh, he's watching and cringing."
Go back to sleep. You said you were napping.
Yeah, Kevin, if a thunderbolt comes your way, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was Daniel.
It was my fault.
Daniel's the real art god. Boom.
No.
Roasted. A pun unintended. Maybe I'll stop talking now.
Oh, roasted by the thunderbolt?
Yeah.
Mm.
Sorry.
Christopher said curse of the magenta.
Yeah.
Okay, so here are the responses to the question about what factors create stressful moments or not. So let's see. Glenn said, people interrupting me stresses me.
Kidding. I just turned around to look at you.
Yeah, that's
I'm kidding.
basically what my job is while May is painting. Interrupting her train of thought and asking her questions.
No, it's good. This is enjoyable. It's not. I'm not just saying that. I promise. Okay, I sound really sarcastic, but actually.
Cookworm said, lack of skill makes me stressed, but not putting any expectations on myself, just allowing myself to create makes me more relaxed. Yeah, definitely. That's the hope with this stream. We'll see how May feels by the end of this. She might be feeling a little stressed right now, but hang in there, May.
I simply collapsed to the ground at 10 p.m.
I gotta say, it's coming along beautifully. Just your color choices here. I'm very excited to see how this unfolds.
I will deliver.
And actually, I hope you'll be delighted to know that it is only 8:30. So 10 minutes transpired since the last time that I notified you.
That's like not bad.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
So yeah, just keep up that pace.
I'm
and keep
so
enjoying
delighted.
Yourself. What?
I'm so delighted.
Delighted, yeah.
I'm delighted.
So maybe you're feeling like the angel in the back. Let's see what's going on with those angels in the background.
They're just chilling.
Yeah, they're
This guy's
chilling.
like fainting. The other guy's like, why are you fainting on me? And then this guy's just like, he's just flying. He's having a good time.
I wonder what they're doing. Maybe do you think that, I haven't really thought about this painting.
Me neither.
So one of the angels is looking at the other angel, like looking at the fallen angel. The other one is kind of fainting into the other one's arms. Maybe they're upset that they lost a friend.
True.
I don't know. What are people's thoughts about those angels in the background?
Maybe
You got
they're
two
real.
angels kind of doing the same basic pose, flying away. Maybe that's how you feel right now, May. Just
I'm falling.
no, you're just flying along.
I'm chilling.
But I'm curious about those two in the back. Very intentional.
I'm not putting those in, but
Yeah, no worries about that.
good narrative. Good narrative content. Oh, I did that already. Nice. Okay.
Let's see. Lil Sesh said, deadlines are definitely stressful. Yeah. Cheryl said, what makes me stress is when I have not mixed the correct color, but only notice this when it applied to the canvas.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Knowing the relationships of colors to each other is a challenge. Yeah. And I will say, Cheryl, sometimes that's the case when it goes onto the canvas, but other times that can be, so the palette that you're using, let's say that the palette is a neutral gray color, but the substrate that you're working on is bright white or really dark. And so there's a relationship between the color that's there on your palette and how it appears compared to the gray neutral palette versus how it feels how you see it when it goes on to, say, like, let's just say a white panel. And so if that's the case, then I would encourage you, like, if you have all of your relationships correct on that neutral gray palette, then just keep going, because as you continue to paint, you will find that all of those relationships work in harmony together because you got it right on the palette. And experience will help you as you continue to develop that. But if you're working into a painting that you've already worked on, you mix a color and then you try to add that color into that painting with those pre-existing relationships, then yes, you might find yourself a bit surprised by how the color relates to the other things that are on it. That can absolutely happen. Sarah Price said, stress can be informative though. It makes me evaluate what's important to focus on and what can wait.
Well, I'm focusing on everything, so.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Yes, very good movie. Everyone should watch it.
Yeah, that's a great point to make, Sarah. Stress can be informative. See, that's the level of therapist that I get to ascend to, you know. That's a very insightful thing. Richard Williams is asking, so is there a strategy for working here, left to right, back to front?
You wish. It's just shadows to lights, really. Value by value, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I said this earlier, but in Evolve, we break the images down by light and shadow. We look at that reference image and we just ask ourselves, what is a shadow? What is a light? And we basically convert the entire image into just two things. So it simplifies it, makes it easier. And that actually can reduce stress just by simplifying things.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, you can start looking at just the shadows. You can ask yourself, what is the darkest shadow? And then what is the brightest shadow? Like, what's something that's still a shadow, but it's the brightest of the shadows? If you find those two things, you now know the full range of values that all of your shadows have to be. And so, you know, sometimes like having a process actually really can reduce stress because it just gives you one thing to focus on. Just like that, you know, if you're asking yourself the right questions. And I may have said this before once, but one time I was working on a still life, and I was struggling with it, stressing out a bit. And I remember Kevin came over. I think I asked him a question, something I was struggling with, and he just was quiet a moment. And I'm waiting patiently. What's he going to say? How can he help me out? And he said, the answers are right in front of you, referring to the still life. You just have to ask the right questions. And that's so true, right? Because like the reference image has all the answers. It has all the information that you need to make the painting that you want to make. Unless you're working from imagination, in which case you have to find the answers inside of your imagination. So the problem is finding the right questions. And if you can find the right questions, then you can start to use those questions to find the answers that are necessary to utilize to make the painting. And I just think that's a great kind of philosophy. And again, like in Evolve, we simplify the painting process down into three things: values, edges, color. Like that, those three things are the visual building blocks of our reality. Such a breath of fresh air to realize that that is all it takes. Like if you can just get good at understanding how to see values, how to see edges, how to see color, how to make decisions with them to make paintings like the one that May is making here. That doesn't seem so hard as painting a fallen angel, right? Painting a fallen angel, it sounds like an incredibly daunting task. But if you're just painting values, edges, and color, and if you have a process to paint with those three things, and you build up a lot of experience painting those values, edges, and color, you can approach any subject, right? Because any subject has values, edges, and color. Whether it's a tree, a dog, a fallen angel, they have those three things, the visual building blocks that we use to recognize information, visual information. So you're then free to paint whatever you want, essentially. You don't have to be a subject expert on fallen angels in order to paint a fallen angel, because you can break the fallen angel down into those three things. And so having a process and being able to simplify what you're seeing, I would argue, can really reduce stress. Anyways, random rant from Daniel.
Yeah, you're right though. Like just in general, like I'm not looking at like like anatomy or like posing or foreshortening or anything. It's just values, color, and edges right now. And that's obviously like a lot less daunting than like trying to figure out the exact bone structure of like an elbow or something like on the fly. So.
Mm-hmm. Lil Sesh. I love that username, Lil Sesh.
Lil
Let's
Sesh.
have a little sesh right now. It's kind of what we're doing right now. This little live stream is a little sesh.
Little sesh.
They said, I think lack of believing in myself sometimes can be stressful. Absolutely. I think too far ahead about the final product and whether it will come out to my standards. Being a perfectionist, the bar is top notch.
Relatable.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you know, you create the present with what you do. You create the future with what you do in the present. So ultimately it just comes down to making decisions on the spot. And you control what you do in like a lot of ways, you know. You control what colors you mix, the speed at which you mix them, the amount of time and patience you give yourself, like all that stuff. It's all under your control. So as long as you're like aware of that and you maximize your own decisions, you can pretty much do anything. Like, you know, to a certain extent, but like, especially like in art, when you're just in front of an easel, that's like usually true.
Just so you know, May, it is 8:40.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I might go into another rant on that topic
Do
that
it.
Lil Sesh brought up, but I like to say that failure may be a great teacher, but confidence is built with small, successful steps. Like, find success. Like, you know, challenge yourself with something that you believe that you can achieve. You know, don't set that bar super high. Create a stairway to where you want to be. Don't try to get there immediately, right? I know Kevin has used this analogy in the past, but it's like if you want to run a marathon, you don't go and just run 24, 26 miles, however far it is. The next day, you work at it. You start with 1 mile, half a mile, to get your body used to the movement of running. Maybe you do that for a few weeks. Then you feel like, okay, that was manageable. I can do 1 mile, and then you start running 2 miles or something like that. You're just incrementally getting there. And it's rewarding, right? Because you are achieving what you're setting out to do. And building up a history of success, even if they're relatively small at first, starts to create confidence. It's like, okay, I did 1 mile. I think I could push myself and do 2, you know, after you've done 1 mile for long enough. And so, yeah, finding, you know, like, where's that stairway? Creating success for yourself in small steps. It creates momentum. It's rewarding. It makes you want to face the next challenge. And then when you encounter a challenge, then you can step back a bit, remind yourself, I've faced these kinds of struggles before, and how did I overcome them, right? And so you're building up that confidence. And I think very often as artists, you know, I've seen we kind of hit up on here a few times about why we're getting into art, why art matters to us, and for a lot of us, it's connected to who we are and our identity. And we can push that too far when we try to make something with our art that it's like running a marathon. It's like too much for us. We haven't prepared, we haven't trained, we don't have the skills or the equipment to make what we set out to do happen. And when we underprepare, and we try to do that thing and then realize to our horror that we neither have the skills nor we have the confidence to ascend to that goal that you were trying to achieve, it's devastating because you tie it back into who you are. Mm-hmm. So, like what Sarah Price said, like, stress is informative. Use that to your advantage and build some success for yourself. One of the things that we say in the Evolve program for people who are starting out, we start them off with really basic squares, right? It's just painting squares. You know, we give you a very clear process for painting. It's not that hard. You're just following basic instructions to paint some squares, and then you make some gradients next, which is a little bit more challenging. But we give you that, you know, one thing at a time. And people can get really upset with themselves when they jump into making the gradients, because the gradients say, let's say that they're not, you know, perfectly butter smooth yet. But we're not expecting people to get butter smooth gradients on their first try. But for some reason, we find that a lot of our students expect that of themselves, as if for the very first time that they're painting gradients, that they would just absolutely nail the most softest gradient that anyone had ever seen. And it's kind of ridiculous, right? And the thing is that we have 20 paintings in the very first block where they can improve and continue to practice their gradients. And so one of the things that we say is, if you improve 5% with every assignment, you will be at 100% by the time you get to the end of the very first block in our program. And it's like, 5%? That seems manageable. You know, like I feel like I could improve 5% with every painting. But if you try to go straight for the 100, it's so daunting. And then it could be devastating if we're misaligning our expectations and attaching that to who we are. So anyways, there's my rant. So to summarize again, failure can be a great teacher, right? Because you can learn from it. Why did I fail? Why did I make those mistakes? But confidence is built by small, successful steps.
Yeah, there's like a romanticism around, you know, like identifying yourself based on like your art and like what you do and that sort of thing. But at the same time, it's like kind of dangerous a lot of the time, because like every time you do something that isn't like up to your own standard or isn't like what you define as perfect, like it kind of jeopardizes your own self-perception if you kind of tie art that closely to who you think you are. And so I would just be careful with that. Definitely had a few run-ins with that myself. So at the end of the day, you know, like you're a person, and art is something you do for fun, no matter like how you enjoy it, how much you enjoy it, how often you do it, how integral it feels to who you are. Like at the end of the day, you are a person, and like you shouldn't hold yourself to like such an aggressively high standard in like a lot of ways, because it's like a lot of leverage to put on like this one activity. You know what I mean? It's almost like a kind of defensive mechanism, I would say, like to not make art like the end all be all that you evaluate yourself and identify yourself with.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the reminder, Linda. Just sharing the reference in the palette for everyone to see. Okay, catching up on the chat here. Sometimes when I go into my rants, I don't even know where I'm looking. I'm like looking off into space, imagining things. Very visual. So let's see. Kristen said, I get stressed when I get focused on my expectations for a painting instead of just following the process and letting the painting unfold. Yeah, absolutely. Again, when you have a process, it's just, what is the next step, you know? You could feel bombarded by, how am I going to get this painting to where it's supposed to be? But if you have a process to come back to, it's like, okay, what's the next part in the step? And it's like, okay, find all your shadows. Oh, okay. Oh, this looks like a shadow. This is a shadow. Right? It becomes manageable again. So yeah, definitely. Donna said, getting the drawing and colors right and meeting expectations. Not only the clients, but my own. At times I have to walk away and come back later when I'm not liking the painting to get a fresh outlook. Yeah, absolutely. I've had to do that a few times. And Glenn giving us some insight into, so Glenn had shared earlier about how being interrupted can create stress. So Glenn said that I have 6 kids and 3 grandchildren and 1 on the way. 2 kids left in the house, junior and senior this year, raising my 3-year-old grandson.
Wow. Props to you for managing that.
Yeah. I bet there's some beautiful moments in there too.
Yeah.
May, this is looking great.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to see how this unfolds.
It's moving.
Just loving
I'm like not
the-
even seeing it. I'm just seeing my brushstrokes like as I'm doing them, and then just like mentally moving on. It'll be nice to like step back at the end.
Yeah, just loving those colors.
It looks so like broken up right now, so I'm just like just keep moving, just keep moving.
Just keep swimming.
Yes.
Oh, cool. Donna said, I love that breakdown, referring to, I'm not sure what, maybe something about our process. I do a lot of work from my imagination, but I do pet portraits too, so that this is very helpful. Looking forward to being able to study with Evolve. It would be great for me. Nice. Yeah, we'd love to have you. And, great username here. Pizza Gulper.
Approved. Very much approved.
It said, hey Dan, this is Chris from when we were both in high school. Miss hanging out. It's really cool that you are doing all this stuff. Wish you all the best, man. Oh, thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Oh, awesome, Sarah. So Sarah Price did a marathon. She trained for 6 months,
That's crazy.
and the actual marathon still killed me. But it was so worth it for the accomplishment. That's awesome. Lowell Sesh said, super thankful for your responses, May, Daniel, and chat. Helps me get inspired and motivated. I'm actually about to get my paints out right now for the first time in a long time. Yeah. Join us for some painting. You know?
Sicko mode. Let's go.
If you have the ability to semi-focus, or if you just want to paint along, right? You know, everyone here is welcome to just grab a brush, grab some paint, start doing something of your own while we're working on this one here. Or I shouldn't say we. So I feel so a part of this, May. But May is the one who's doing all the hard work right now. I just get to sit back here and.
Well, you're providing the much needed moral support, so I think that's like at least 60% of the entire job.
60%?
60%. You're keeping I'm just the car, you're like the gasoline, you know. The husk of, I'm just what's the thing? There was like a meme, oh yeah, mechanical beast. I'm just the empty mechanical beast, and you're the gasoline. That was like a really grisly analogy.
Empty mechanical beast. Okay.
Mechanical
Here we go.
beast.
Next therapy session.
It was so
All right,
funny.
so let's unpack that.
It's literally just like a thing I saw online.
So it's like a shell, perhaps.
The meme itself was just like mechanical beast, and it was just a picture of a car, and it was like, what is this mechanical beast before me? I thought it was so funny. Yeah, I don't know. My generation's humor is like very much broken, so don't ask me anything.
So what about what you're doing feels mechanical?
No, I'm just like making the analogy of like if you weren't here, I would not be able to like function at this rate with this like motivation. Does that make sense?
Thank you. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
but also I know that you paint all the time on your own.
Yeah, but
Obviously,
like
you did that Solomon J. Solomon painting on your own. So I appreciate the compliment, but also, you know, you're the one doing the work here, May.
I guess I am, but like,
A
I
little
mean, all the other stuff like
self-appreciation.
wasn't in front of an audience, and like I don't like I can like pause and like just like mess around, but now I'm like not. But like I feel okay doing that, which like I probably wouldn't in front of people if like no one else was here. So.
Okay. I can receive that. I did get concerned a second there, calling yourself like a mechanical beast.
No, it's just the analogy.
Okay.
Don't worry. And I thought it was funny.
Sorry, I'm just too concerned about your well-being to...
My sense of humor overall is just it's just like misuse of the English language. These are not the colors I signed up for, but it's okay.
You said these are not the colors you signed up for?
They're it might just be relative to the very light panel underneath it, but it looks very dark to function as the lights. So a little bit miffed, but it's okay.
It's fine. You can
Because
always
relative, they're fine.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, absolutely. They still read as lights,
Mm-hmm.
and the chroma being so warm,
Right.
it's all communicating that it's light. So it's even if it's a bit different, it's definitely going to work. And then of course you can even, as you build in your lighter values in there, you might find that it's actually perfect.
Yeah.
It won't take much to just add a little bit of a lighter value into what you're already putting down, and who knows, maybe the painting will be better for it.
Mm-hmm. Because this one's definitely richer in color. One of the things I kind of struggle with when mixing is when I try to mix lighter values, they tend to lose chroma because I have to add usually the lightning agents are Naples yellow or just white, and both of those kind of cause a loss of chroma. But since these colors are darker, in value, I was able to use more colors out of the tube that are not as light and therefore have more color. So it looks richer, which is nice.
Also,
yeah,
they might feel a little dark compared to the brighter panel.
Yeah.
And so again, just keep going one step at a time. I'm so excited for this. I think this is, I can already see this painting just being awesome. Your color choices, your value choices to me are just so good.
Working for you. I'm glad.
It is 8:55.
Okay. Imagine I finished everything but the face. People would be so pissed off. That'd be funny.
What'd you say? If you finish everything but the face?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I can get to it. This is it's happening.
Mm-hmm. I think it's happening, May. Richard Williams said, May, very nice to see the shoulder, bicep, and pectoral muscles that are in shadow are beginning to resolve and reveal the form. Kudos.
Thank you.
There you go.
My,
Maybe you need to step back for a second and just appreciate what you've done so far.
That actually looks really nice. Wow. I did not look at the wing until just now.
Oh, fancy that.
I did make that.
Oh, I can paint? What?
Imagine.
How did this happen?
Imagine painting. That's crazy. That's even better.
Imagine painting?
Imagine painting.
It's a nice imagination.
Now that's even better. All right, now to go back to the figure. Holy crap. Okay. Just kidding. Okay. All right.
Get back into the figure.
Speed. Yeah.
Awesome.
I was doing this.
Okay, what's our next art therapy related question here?
I love that someone just straight up said pectoral muscles. Yes. The gym bro part of my brain just activated when I heard that. It's yes. I bench too. Wait, no, wrong activity.
Trina is asking, will you save this paint for next week? So we are hoping to finish this painting in 1 hour, roughly.
There is no saving.
So we'll see.
There is only work tonight
Only awesomeness ahead for this
Yes.
evening. So worth sticking around.
Yeah, don't leave me. Why is that so funny?
Don't leave
Daniel?
me.
Don't leave me. Why did you leave me?
We,
Nothing. That was nothing.
we would love to have you all stay for, but no obligations, no pressure. But if you would like to stay with us, we are here. We are happy.
We will be here.
Happy campers.
We are delighted campers, actually.
So at this point, May, has your mood changed colors?
Wow, beautiful pun. It's like, I'm like definitely like more like hyperactive, but I'm not like upset.
Okay, so maybe the coffee kicked in that Kevin graciously gave us.
Yes, thank you, Kevin. I think also just like the adrenaline of like the constant timestamps. I'm like,
It's nice to see the painting from this angle. We're doing the headshot
Yeah.
camera angle. You can just see like that arm just coming forward so nicely already. It's cool.
yay.
So this is actually another one of the benefits of painting shadows and like breaking the painting down into shadows first and then building up the lights is you can already see the painting unfolding. Like the areas where that May hasn't painted yet, like in the torso and the arm there, we know that those are going to be brighter values. Of course, they're not going to be that bright of that panel that we're seeing, but they're going to be brighter, and so everything else relationally kind of works, right? It works well enough that our brain can make sense of what we're seeing and understanding the form of that figure.
I'm using advanced psychological techniques to convince you that I've already finished more than I have.
Well, actually, it's using perhaps a technique on yourself, right, for the artist. Because
This is
again,
true.
it's so much easier for you as the creator to have that. Imagine if you were doing this in reverse, like if you were going to paint the lights first, which is
I used to do that.
It's not a bad thing to do if you can manage it, if you can stay true to the relationships that you set out from the beginning.
Yeah.
But if if you're painting in lights on like a white panel and your shadows then become white and your lights become darker than your shadows, it's like inverted and it can make it tougher potentially. Dina is asking, how big is the palette? It looks bigger than a 9x12. It is bigger.
It's pretty big.
This one,
I really don't know.
I can't tell you offhand. It's
I had to like
it's
cut
bigger.
it too to like fit inside.
Yeah, we
the
cut it to
thing.
fit this little. This is like a little nice painting table that we have up here to go with the nice big easel, and couldn't tell you the dimensions offhand. Maybe 16 by 16.
That looks about right. Yeah. Sounds and looks.
Oh, Sarah guessed 15 by 15. I think it would be, I want to say 16 by 16. Maybe we cut off like a small sliver. I just got the text from
Big Brother.
the one who answers the questions that we have. This is Kevin Murphy texting me, and he said it's a 16 by 20 cut down 2 inches to make it a 16 by 18. Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Always appreciate the little text from Kevin just to help us out during this live stream.
To enlighten us.
It's funny, we're just like, oh, I'm not really sure. And then Kevin's just like, oh, here's the information. Magenta.
Magenta. The answers are right in front of you.
I mean, it is, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's looking so good.
Pectorialis. That's such a fun word to say.
Pectorialis.
Pectorialis. It makes you sound smart.
Is it therapeutic, perhaps?
Maybe. Maybe if I just repeat it for the rest of the live stream, everyone will leave. So I won't do that. Pectorialis. Here it is. I have my transfer on this side to help me a little bit. So that's like why I'm looking. I don't know if that's like in the frame or not. But I wanted to explain myself. There's like blue in there, so I'm just gonna put it in audaciously. Oh wow, that's very strong. Okay.
That looks nice though.
Thank you. It's a recurring theme for us, adding blue to fix problems. I was like, oh, I didn't really mix like a cooler skin tone. But I did mix blue. I guess I'll put them together. I'm glad I mixed a lot of this. Sometimes as I'm mixing and like I feel myself getting kind of lazy, I'm like, it's not close enough. I'm like, you know, your future self is gonna thank you so much if you do this properly. And then I do it properly, and I'm like, man, I was right. I'm not really mixing any medium into the paint. I'm just using it to clean my brush because obviously there's like a lot of colors going on. What am I doing? Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm
What?
I'm searching online common questions that therapists ask clients.
Yeah.
All for pure fun.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into your personal life. Don't worry.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna see if I can translate this into our terms, perhaps.
Okay.
So this one is from decideyourlegacy.com.
That sounds not stressful at all.
This question is, what are you unclear about in your life, or maybe in this case, in your painting, that if you figured it out would make the biggest difference? What feels unclear to you right now, May?
My transfer. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, that was really dumb. I'm just like starting to perceive like so many subtle like temperature changes that like define and refine the form in this area, because there's like muscle, but there's also like skeletal structure, and also he's like twisted, so it's like nothing's like super linear or super well. Nothing is like self-explanatory, and so I'm like starting to get like information overload, and I need to like decide what kind of like look at the bigger shapes and stuff, and yeah, kind of consolidate that information. That would be nice. It's not like a huge problem, but like usually that just happens as I work further into a painting. Like I start seeing it better in a way, but I can't like overcomplicate it. Otherwise, it becomes like hard to read, and like it loses structure, which is like the most important. So restraint. I mean, also time like helps. I'm like, you know, you literally don't have time to put in everything you see. So, but like making these decisions on the fly, like what is the most important to conveying the form, that sort of thing.
I apologize, May. I've only been half listening, which is
That's fine.
rule number one of bad things to do as a stand-in not therapist. But
You're okay.
we're having issues with this camera right here, which says it's low battery, and yet it's charging.
It's
we
plugged
just-
in, right?
It is plugged in.
Is this what?
Anyways, you just
this
keep
is
on
what-
painting. Don't
okay.
worry about it.
Okay.
But I'm just letting everyone else know that we're not getting that nice painting angle at the present moment. And so I am working to resolve that as we speak. Because I want to make sure that we can enjoy this beautiful painting that's unfolding.
How did I use this? Oh, okay. Why did I leave that blank? That's so silly.
Yeah, so this is the first time we're encountering this problem. So thank you for your patience, everyone. If we continue to have this issue and I'm not able to figure this out in the very near future, then I will move the current camera that we have to show the painting. So we'll lose May's face, but we will get the painting again. But I'm going to keep trying a couple more attempts here to get this camera back up and running. We've never had this issue before, so we're just troubleshooting some things.
Maybe the memory card's full. I don't know how this stuff works.
It's not recording. Okay, so I am going to switch over our cameras because I'm afraid that even if we do get this to work, it might need some time for the camera to charge anyways. So I'll be switching this over, so we're going to see the camera moving around. I'll do my best. I'll keep the camera on while we make those arrangements. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. Actually, no, I am going to have to turn off the camera because I don't want to. These HDMI cables can be a little finicky when they get moved. So I'm just going to turn off our feed. But don't worry, we're still here. Just follow my voice. Okay, so just turned off that stream. And got to switch some cords around here.
I like finish the painting while they're not here. That would be funny and a miracle. Okay.
It's for those of you who've come to the Art Academy, you know, if you've seen this setup before, there's actually quite a few chords, and so it's a bit of a delicate process to move these things without creating any complications. So I'm just taking my time, doing it right. And for those of you who are staring at a black screen right now, this is what life would be like if we can't see.
So true.
So hopefully it creates a relationship, that seems to be the theme. Creates a relationship between light and shadow and getting to see. Okay. Just got to make some adjustments here. I'm just going to check to make sure everyone's seeing this feed right now. And not quite yet, so got to plug this in. It's a one-man show here for this, for the tech side of all these things. Reconnecting the HDMI cable to give us that high definition view. For those of you who are wondering, we use Fuji cameras to do the live stream. And I'm just plugging this in now. Okay. I'm gonna make a few more adjustments before I turn this on. Okay, looks like the feed is back up. Just checking the how it's looking. I'm seeing a couple things that need to be adjusted here. Yeah, it is looking great. Donna is appreciating your work right now, May.
Thank you.
Just briefly checking the chat there. I think I'm going to, in the process, I'm going to switch out our lens to go back to the regular lens. So while I do that, I'm going to cut the feed one more time, so bear with me. But yes, May is working away at this painting. She's taking advantage of no distractions.
Yeah. I'm also taking advantage of just like stepping really close because I know like I'm not blocking anything because no one can see right now.
Mm-hmm. You're doing great. You're doing great. Relax.
I'm like glitching. All right. Hair. And then I'll go down to a smaller brush.
So the lens that we have for that headshot angle is a 50 mil, and the one I'm putting in now is a 50 to 140, it appears. So it's going to give us a better zoom, so we can be farther away. But still be able to take a nice look. Let's see how we do here. Going up. It's a bit dark, so I'll be making that adjustment as well. May I just realized
Yes.
I should have just switched the cameras and kept the tripods.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess so. I wasn't thinking about it either. It's okay.
When practical sense comes in just a few minutes too late.
It has a tendency to do that, yeah.
Man, that would have been so much more simple. I think I actually might bring it back because this tripod is also better. Oh my goodness. Well, it's great that you're not feeling stressed, May, but I, on the other hand...
Transfer of stress.
I will take on all the stress for you. Let me soak it all in.
It's okay, you know how to do this.
That's right, I do. One step at a time. Okay, so I'm unplugging the cords again. Thank you everyone for your patience with this. As May said earlier, please don't leave me. Hang on, we're gonna have this all set up in just a moment.
It's gonna be a great time. Just hang on.
But I am providing us with the other battery charger, just in case there's an issue with that one.
Mm-hmm. Smart.
So that'll be good.
Okay.
Let's see if I can, here, I'll give everyone the palette shot while we're still going here.
I am currently working on the hair, and I started in the shadows. Suppose you'll see it soon enough. But I actually didn't directly mix any colors for the hair. I'm literally just repurposing what I had for the wings and for the skin. So yeah, usually that works out. We do this thing called repurposing the colors to kind of harmonize the entire image. So the colors aren't like 1000% like precise, but it does help the overall image. Lots of course it's like mostly red if you guys remember the reference, but there's a lot of like green that mixes into orange as well. And it's very delicate and it's very pretty, and I hope I capture it.
Yes, keep painting a picture for us with your words.
Yeah, these strands of hair look like noodles, and it's kind of fun.
Noodle hair?
Noodle hair.
Noodle hair, okay.
So I'm thinking about just covering most of this with the shadow value, like that bright red, and then kind of just working into it, like on top of it, with the light, so that I can use like really thick paint for the lights, and then it'll be like all nice and textured and yummy. But I also don't want to make a mess, so I'll probably go like in between those two notions. Cover more than exactly all the shapes of the light, all the shadows at first, but not cover like everything. What?
Okay, we're back up and running.
Catching
and,
up on the chat.
Kevin did jump in the chat.
Oh my
and
God.
He said, I'm fairly confident that the issue with the camera is somehow
Related to
magenta.
the lack of magenta.
Yes. Exactly.
Did he actually say that?
Yes, he did. He said magenta.
Cut the cameras right now.
That's so funny.
This is misinformation. Big Brother is lying to you. Stop. Yeah, when I get stressed, I have a tendency to talk to inanimate objects as if that'll change the situation.
Yes, you were talking to your reference there.
Yeah, so I was talking to my transfer. And I did use magenta, okay? Because you told me to, and it fixed the problem like you said it would.
And I, on the other hand, Kevin, I'm sorry, I was not able to use magenta to solve the camera problem.
He's like, what do I even do this for? It's looking very wonky. I might just use purple. Yeah, why wasn't I using purple? So silly.
You mean magenta?
No, I mean purple. Dun dun dun. I want to get used to like turning around to look at the camera now for like those dramatic moments.
That's right. Well, I don't know. You'll just be a big blurry face.
Oh, that's true.
So,
I might clown myself more than solve a problem.
yeah. So I'm going to catch up on the chat here, see what people are talking about. Thank you for staying, everybody. Really appreciate that. It's nice to see that there's a few chats in here. I was really concerned. So
Yeah.
it's awesome. And then I'll keep fiddling around, seeing if I can get this camera charged, and while we're talking here. Sarah Price said, "No stress, Daniel." Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, let's see. George said, "I could use these painting lessons."
Is this a lesson? Well, if it's informative to you, I'm very glad.
Yeah, this is technically not a lesson, but actually, it looks like, sorry, just the colors need to be adjusted slightly on this camera. Let's see what we got going on here. I think we're looking at. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay. Yeah, so this isn't technically a lesson. We're really just painting for fun and having a blast, enjoying creating art as we see fit, right? Without limitations, which is a big part of why we teach at Evolve and want to give people these skills so that they can create the things that they want to create. So absolutely. But we have a whole training program that is, much more efficient than what you could find following tutorials on YouTube and things like that, actually giving you a process for breaking down what you're seeing, understanding it, and then rebuilding paintings and creating things that are your own, without having to rely on step-by-step tutorials and things like that.
Whoa,
cool. Yeah,
that's bright. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, they do have we have a monthly plan, a payment plan that makes it much more affordable. And if you compare Evolve's price tag to, YouTube, say like it's obviously YouTube is free, right? But if you compare it to other art schools, then you're talking like a penny on the dollar, 100 times cheaper, right? Ateliers, colleges, it becomes a very different thing. And actually, if you look into the program more seriously, you will find that we compare much better against things like colleges and ateliers because we do a lot of hand-holding and guiding as you're learning these skills. So we don't just give out videos and then just say good luck. We walk you through every single painting that you do, every single assignment that we give you is reviewed by an instructor, gives you personal feedback every single time. And then we look at it and then we will then allow you to move forward into the next part. But we won't let you move forward if we're seeing that you're struggling with something. We'll reach out to you, meet with you, really make sure that you're understanding the material, converting the knowledge into skill. That's really important to us, and that's how we're able to really deliver on an education and provide the results that we get for our students. It happens through that guided process, and that requires an entire team of instructors and it's really a whole school and much bigger than just a little bit of training here and there. So it's a great investment, and yeah, definitely recommend it. Worth looking into and seeing if it's a viable option for you. Okay, a question from Cheryl. Can you comment on how the original artist developed this level of realism, since this is a painting of a fictitious character, i.e. no photo reference like artists have today? Okay, so I don't know offhand how Alexander, I imagine you're referring to Alexander, the original artist who made this painting, and May is doing this master copy of his work. I don't know what time period. I could look that up when he was around. Let's see. He could have used a live model. He could have used a photograph. Obviously, adding a wing. I don't know exactly what his process was, but usually artists would be creating things using reference, or they would find ways to create reference. Okay, so he was born in 1823, died in 1889. And just to confirm, invention of camera date. The camera was invented in 1816. So it's possible that he used a camera for reference. Yeah, so that hopefully gives you some information, but I don't know offhand how he did it. I'd have to look in deeper. But I'm sure some quick searches might give you some answers, Cheryl. Josh said, he looks like me before I got my haircut.
It's pretty good.
It's a good style.
Yeah.
Very flowy.
Angsty Weasley.
And Sarah Price said, it's a very colorful therapy session. Yes.
Yeah.
It's nice to see those colors. Nice to see the relationships between the cool shadows, the warm lights. I mean, that alone to me just makes me feel so much better. Seeing those warm, like the oranges playing off of the blues. Love it.
I am probably going down to a smaller brush soon. Throw that in there first.
George said, I get arthritis in my hands. I have to walk away from painting or even clay sculpting.
Oh.
Yeah, I think we've had a few students. I'm not sure about the Evolve program, but I know here at the Art Academy, the brick and mortar version of Evolve, people have come in, they've had arthritis, and they might have to take a little more frequent breaks, but they're still able to get through and make paintings of their own. Donna said, sounds awesome. I've done college twice, so I know how that goes. Even though I haven't joined Evolve yet, I can really see the value. Aha, nice pun there. You can see the value and the difference from what I've seen and learned. That's great to hear, Donna. Yeah, we really believe in what we do. It's exciting. I love being a part of this. Cryptic Art said, do you also use Discord? We don't have a Discord group. Some of our students have set up their own Discord servers, though.
I have a Discord. Since everyone in my generation, but I don't really do anything with it. I actually made a group, and then I just for maybe streaming when I was drawing my iPad or whatever. But it never really. I added a bunch of people, and then didn't really do anything on it because I would just stream in the group chats that we already made. That just made more sense.
George said, I have seen monks in a monastery paint icons. That's pretty cool. And he also said, just watching May paint is enjoyable.
Aw.
Yeah.
Glad.
And Trina said, there are actual art therapists out there. Yes, and I am not one of them. So any of these questions that I ask, I hope it's not offending any professional art therapists out there. I'm just having some fun.
As we do, and as we should.
Just making sure that the colors are right from what I'm seeing in person here. I think that's a little bit... a bit brighter.
Okay.
Oh, we just lost a reference.
It's okay. It wasn't the real reference.
It's not the real reference?
It's the transfer, but I'll grab it. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome back, Edie.
Oh, they returned. Nice.
Oh, Betty Platt just said, "Wow, it looks so good."
Thank you.
That's always great. Yeah, it really does, May.
Thank you. I look forward to stepping backwards.
So are you gonna make us all wait for the face to come in last, or?
I mean, I'm going down to a smaller brush at the end. Well, not at the end, but like after I finish everything, that doesn't need a smaller brush. So, yeah, it'll be towards the end. That's not
It's looking
like
so
intentionally
nice.
making you guys wait, but there is a rock that I have to paint. Okay, we'll do that.
Rock.
Yes.
From a distance, it pretty much looks like.
It's like all skin tones. It's like the same exact colors as that arm.
Yeah,
He's so silly.
just a couple hits of blue to.
Yeah, and some
Help
like orange. But that's like the
differentiate.
same as in there too. So.
Awesome. So we had a little period where I wasn't updating you on the time, May.
Yeah. Oh no.
I'm trying to, let you down easy here.
What does it come to? We're down
It
to the
is
wire.
9:40.
Oh, that's okay. All right. Maybe I should just do the face for you guys and get that out of the way.
So, can I make a suggestion? You can turn this down because
Yeah.
this is your show
Nah.
for now.
Okay.
You could block in the legs really quickly, like really roughly,
Yeah.
just to block them in for us so we can
Yeah.
kind of see the context.
All right.
But you don't need to refine it to the level that you've refined other things. And then jump into the face. And if we go over time,
Okay.
it'll be okay. No one is obligated to stay late, but I'm okay with staying later. And I think this is some magic happening right now, and can't afford to let time cut that short. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My brain just started singing like the Magic Treehouse song. No, not Magic Tree, Magic School Bus. You said the word magic. I'm struggling. That's fine. Yeah, that's like close enough. Okay. Ooh. Wow. Okay.
Getting a chat message in another language, which is Japanese. I'm going to use
Ooh.
Google Translate to see if I can understand. See what we get here.
Aggressive painting. Stop. Thank you.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's coming in so nice and quickly.
The leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I looked it up on Google Translate, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the context. So I'm just going to let that be. But I appreciate you commenting. But it doesn't seem to fit into the live stream here, so I'm not sure what to do about that.
What does it say?
It appears as if there's like some sort of story, telling a story in the middle of the story, so I don't know. Maybe we'll get an explanation in a moment. Okay. I'm not sure, Sarah. George said, I would like to take, I would like to maybe like to try reproducing Bierstadt or Kincaid.
Ooh, I have part of a Bierstadt in a background for a portrait that I was working on. It's like almost done though. They are very elegant.
Mm-hmm. Man, look how fast that leg is coming in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because
What
this is like
happened?
not even like opaque at all. That's why. It's just speeding. Oh, that was the wrong color, but I can cover it, so it's fine. The aggressive talking to self will commence very soon.
It's therapeutic, right?
It like makes me feel like I'm in control, which is like nice.
Oh, that's a great poll question.
What?
Do you talk to yourself
Leg.
while you paint? Question. Okay, new poll is up.
I usually don't, unless like I make a mistake and then I'll like yell, which is one of the benefits of like painting alone in the studio. I can just yell expletives whenever I want. It'll be like dead silent and then mistake as they happen. Was I using that? I'm gonna assume that I was. I'm just gonna put that there and then put this here. I'm gonna put this here too. And it's gonna take me a while because I'm using a massive brush. I really shouldn't be right now, but it's okay. And then I'll make that look nicer later. Yeah, okay.
But it really helps us kind of see the whole painting here.
Yeah,
Oh, you were talking about the lat muscle there.
yeah.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the leg.
Well, yeah, the leg is present now. She has arrived.
Oh wow, first 10 votes was at 90%. But it just updated to 15 votes and now we're at 73% of yes.
Good.
That's a
My hand
that's a
hurts.
large percentage. So it's a very
That is impressive, actually.
so this dialogue thing, let's unpack that, May, since this is such a hot topic.
Oh my god.
So do you have um, do you have
do you
different
want from me?
personalities for the dialogues that are in your head? Like, is there one that's very skeptical and has a certain tone, or and another one that's a little bit more optimistic? Like, how does this work? Would love to hear everyone else's thoughts too about.
There's no explicit dialogue. It's just like impulses, and there's always like the constantly critiquing one. Where it's just like, that's not right. This is what you need to do next to make that better because you messed up there, haha. And then there's just like the kind of like just diligently like moving forward. Like, okay, I put this down. The next step is this, and then the next step will be that, and then the next step will be that. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of it, really. And yeah, there's nothing like explicit. It's just like different modes of perceiving, I guess. Like one eye is perceiving, like one side is perceiving like everything I've done right and should do to maintain that, and the other side is like everything I've done wrong and what I need to fix that. So
like a fallen angel on one shoulder and a non-fallen angel on the other.
I don't know how to interpret that, but I'm just gonna say yes.
Well, because you're describing one as seeing all the problems, but the other one seeing. I guess I don't know. I guess that doesn't really have anything to do with morality, but negativity, positivity,
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
that value's wrong.
I don't know how much people can hear when I'm walking around, but I'm seeing if I can start charging this other camera in case we get some life from it again. And I'll check in on the chat in just a moment. Curious to hear everyone's responses, though. We're currently at 62% of people saying yes, they talk to their paintings. Or they talk to themselves while painting. Maybe that's another part of it, right? Is
Talking to your painting.
do you talk to your painting or do you talk to yourself?
Like, please.
Are they the same?
I think it's the same because the painting is the result of yourself. You know what I mean? So.
I don't.
So, like the
Oh,
painting
right.
is like a result of like all your decisions and stuff. So like as you're making the decisions, you're probably talking to yourself. And like, hey, please, you know.
Mm-hmm. Fiddling around with some power plugs here.
Fiddle away.
Fiddling away.
I will be right here. Making up anatomy. Oh, I still have to put in the other leg. Okay.
Got it, you're good. It's only just a few values, edges, and a little bit of color.
It's just oil on a hairy stick.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I get too worked up about a painting, I'm like, chill. It's just oil on a hairy stick, and I feel better. On like refined cardboard, you know, it's like, come on.
I guess that's another way of simplifying things for you.
Yeah. This, and this. Yeah, that works. Okay.
Interesting.
What?
The mystery of the... I'm still trying to solve the mystery of this camera.
Aggressive painting sounds. Yet again, that was too dark last time. Oh wow, that's a lot, but we're gonna work with it. Okay. Are they seeing anything right now, or?
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
they're looking at the painting right now.
Okay. I just should not have done that, but it's fine.
So I plugged in the camera to another outlet, and I'm getting a connection, and it
Yay.
appears to be charged.
Yay. Success. Right?
I think so.
Awesome.
If this means what I think it means, I think that we can just move the old camera to the other spot.
Awesome.
Jorge said, "We see everything."
Oh God. You know what? That actually didn't turn out too bad. So I will go down this. Oh, I did go down to a smaller brush without meaning to.
I'm sure it
Okay.
wouldn't take much to block in that rock either, you know? I wish you
I
could all
think-
have seen May's reaction right there.
I think that one's too big. I use this one and this is this color. I could probably get away with just using this and then like just putting some stuff out of the tube on it, but I won't do that because I'm not lazy. Okay.
So Sarah Price said, "I talked to the painting. What do you want from me?" What do you want from me?
Why must you treat me in this way?
Luis said, "I don't. I'm very annoying to listen to, so I ask myself to shut up."
Aw.
So I wonder how that goes. Is like, this needs an extra shade right here. No, be quiet. Don't talk to yourself. Linda said, "Usually they're Kevinisms keeping me in check."
Oh boy, I didn't even talk about those because I don't want to.
Do you hear Kevin's voice when you're painting?
Yes.
Is he the one that sees all the problems, or is he the one that sees all the good things? Or
He's
is it
like whichever one's more dominant, he's like the one keeping the other in check usually. Because I can get like overly critical really fast, or I can get like overly like, okay, just finish this part and then work backwards and like just like forget about it until you're done. It's like, no, don't forget about it, you know.
Yeah, Kevin does love to add a counter perspective.
Yeah.
I think he naturally enjoys balance. So like if you make one point, he'll agree with you, but then he'll make the opposite point, not to like simply to bring you to a more specific point. You could even
Right.
describe it as painting, right?
Okay, you make that comparison.
So
I'm gonna
if
paint
you
this
are,
rock.
here we go. I think I can make this work. If you are having a conversation with somebody and you are trying to unpack an idea and arrive at the core of the idea that you're trying to discuss and unveil, it's like mixing a color and getting that color to be the exact color that you want it to be. And so maybe you are mixing the color and you need to add a little bit more blue. You need to add a little bit of a perspective in one direction about this idea to help the idea kind of move in that more blue direction. But then as you do that, maybe the color becomes more blue than what you originally wanted it to be. So then the next person comes in, the person you're conversing with, maybe brings in a little bit of that English red and tones down the blue just a bit and brings the color you're mixing back to that specific point that you're aiming for. How's that? Pretty good?
Yeah, I got that. I could not have come up with that like while doing this, so kudos.
It makes sense in my head, you know? It's like finding, we've talked about this before, but it's just finding that dot, that thing. It's what you want and arriving at that spot. And you have to be very specific about it. Specificity. I mean, that's artistry. If you're vague or ambiguous, it shows up in your work, and it's not precise. You're not expressing that intention, unless you are simply intending to express ambiguousness. Then I guess that would be a bit of specificity there, even.
Words.
Anyways, I just tied myself in a knot. But anyways.
You're good.
Let's return to the chat here. What's going on? So
What is going on? Sorry, that was me talking to the painting.
Username Frog, love that. So hello Frog,
Hi,
glad to have you.
Frog.
Frog said, I would talk to myself if I didn't have thin walls, lol. And Edie said, yes, I talk to myself while painting or drawing. It's distracting and I have to force myself to be quiet long enough to get into the flow state. Do you have a flow state, May, that you get into when you're painting?
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Usually not. Flow state is usually like I don't hear like all my thoughts are like none of them are in the form of like words. It's just like and like everything's working. I think that's the main point. Like everything's working for me and I don't have to like think explicitly about it. Usually I have to think. Usually I have to work for it.
I might be making some more noises as I reconfigure this camera. It's charged up for a little bit, so I'm excited to see what we get. So if this works, then the problem was somehow with the power, and the only thing that I would have done to change it is just change different power chords with each other, which is strange.
That'd be weird, yeah.
That would be weird. But if it works, it works.
Yeah.
And I'll be happy. I'll be delighted, in fact. Actually, it will have reduced some stress.
That's
even if I
always
don't know
optimal.
why it worked.
It's like definitely like 10 o'clock.
Probably, yes.
But I'm just that's annoying. Thanks though. That's funny. I literally did do everything but the face in 3 hours. So. Yeah, I did.
Okay, interestingly enough, I am not getting power anymore.
Even though you
And
charged it?
I plugged it back into the same input. I don't know how to describe this. It's all coming from the same surge protector, but this one, or this extension cord, and the one outlet that I'm using seems to be faulty. And so what would have happened in that case is that if that's faulty, then all we need to do is find another outlet to create power. So now I'm going to go walk around and find another solution. Let's see.
Man, I feel like I failed. It's been 3 hours and I didn't get to the face. Oh well. I can't say I'm surprised though, so.
Well, you'll be there very soon.
Yeah. It's gonna
And
be
yeah,
structural
hopefully,
hands-on.
for those who can't stay any longer, hopefully it gives you something to look forward to the next time you can watch. This is all going to be here recorded for people to see the finished painting. And May, to confirm, you're good to keep going?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Awesome. So we will be sticking around. Now, I am going to unplug one of our light sources because it's using a longer extension cord. So
Okay.
things might get a little dark
Okay.
for a second. Wonder how much of these chords people can hear. Okay. Still not getting the connection I'm looking for. What could this be? Okay. I think this is working. Oh. Interesting. It seems like it's very delicately working depending on how it's positioned here, so
Interesting.
this is good information. Hard to describe in words, but I think we've got this figured out. So just gonna make some more adjustments here. Get this camera back on track for us. And May, do you want to look at me for a hot second? Thank you. Got you in focus. The last step will be to plug in the HDMI. All right, fingers crossed. Hey,
It worked.
the stream is going. Got that new camera back in.
Yay.
Oh, that is so satisfying. Painting was so good, May.
Thank you.
It's nice because I'll kind of like look away for a little bit while I'm working on this camera stuff and then to come back to it and see how it's progressed. Okay, now I'm going to catch up with the chat since I was gone for a little while. Question from George. Is this the underpainting of the fallen angel before she works the details? So this is going to be a quick study for her, and she's really just taking her time, enjoying it. And so we're going to finish this painting tonight. And so I'm not sure what level of refinement she wants to do. But yeah, this is more of a study, and we're not trying to make a complete finished painting out of this. Just really to enjoy a quality painting sesh and see how it goes. We'll discover if this was a relaxing time for May, despite having a large audience and being on this, having the pressure of finishing a painting from start to finish in front of everybody. I guess that's really the question, right? Will May be happy and relaxed and feeling better at the end of this stream or even during? How's it been so far, May?
It's been fine. I'm enjoying the painting. The only thing is just like the time restraint. Like the audience thing isn't like a big deal at all anymore, which is like nice. But because like this is supposed to be like the only time I like work on this, and I like really like this image, so I kind of want to do it justice. But also it's like hard because time. But it's like not a big deal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Seeing a couple more adjustments since we've switched out cameras. Awesome. So, making a couple more adjustments here. Go down there. Okay. I think we're back up and running. So let's see, where are we? Donna said, I talk in my head more than out loud. I like to listen to books, music, or videos that I don't need to watch, but I also paint in silence at times. Said, I tell myself what I need to do. Diana said both. Dina said, my conversation with myself usually consists of words like, oh no, and sometimes worse than that. To answer you, George, May is using Old Holland oil paint. Oh, yeah, thank you for answering there, Kevin. Okay, take care, Karen.
Good night.
Barbie says, I find it comfortable talking to myself while painting.
Oh.
And Rebecca said, I find myself giving a play-by-play of the entire process with a half-smiling face. That doesn't sound too bad, Rebecca. So hopefully you don't mind it as much as you do it. A question from Dina. May and Daniel, do you look at the subject for a long time before painting it, or do you just jump in?
That's like optimal, but it's like not extremely necessary. Usually the color mixing process kind of takes care of that for me. So I guess like, yeah, but not like I don't like just sit there and look at it usually. It's kind of just part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Daniel?
I tend to, for for my professional work. Yes, I will think about it for a long time, and I'll kind of like sleep on it. I'll think about it and then walk away from it and think about it again and come back. So usually, like when I'm thinking about the subject and how I'm going to paint it, hopefully I'll think about it days in advance before I actually get to the painting process. That tends to be a little bit more manageable. Louise said this is a lot of work done in 3 hours, especially having to talk while doing it. Yeah, absolutely. Cookworm said, watching the process, how this all goes together and becomes so realistic will always amaze me. It's like magic.
I'm happy you're enjoying this.
Thank you, Linda. Appreciate that.
What happened?
Yes, Barbie said that wing is stunning. See, May? I told you.
Because I did it first when I wasn't rushing. But thank you. Sorry, I'm like blocking this.
Oh, you're good.
I'm so glad I like mixed the right colors mostly. Wow. Because that would have been like so much extra work if like these just did not function properly.
Yeah.
So even though they are drying up on me, I guess I'm glad I did do this ahead of time. They're actually not bad. I was just being nitpicky. Here we go.
Rhiannon has jumped in the chat.
Hello.
Is she direct painting?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, she is.
That is incorrect. Okay. That should work.
Oh, glad to hear that, Donna. Donna said it's definitely enjoyable. Also, through the conversations and observations, I'm learning too.
Oh, green.
Yeah, one of the things I love about this, like if you look at the reference, the eyebrows are so angular.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And I hope you're just having the time of your life right now.
I just wish I was in overtime, but yes. Otherwise, yeah. I just leave it like that. You guys would be so mad. I'm kidding. I won't do that because I would be mad too. Oh, I wanted to do a thing. It's better. Okay. What am I doing? There's blue. Yeah, there was blue. That's what I thought. Okay. Smaller brush. Yeah, I'm gonna be more comfortable.
Barbie said, we are really enjoying this. George said, just watching this helps me to relax and study the style of her painting.
Style. It's interesting to hear.
Style, she asks.
Style?
Style?
I'm not trying to have a style, but if I have one, that's pretty swag too, I guess. That's, wow, I really, that's like a non-helpful transfer. Okay. What is that?
I can't really hear you very well, May. I think.
Sorry, I'm like, I'm like literally just talking to myself. So, I was just saying that I was trying to figure out what these lines were in this very critical area of the painting, and I was looking over at my transfer, and I was just like, wow, that's not helpful. That happens sometimes, where your like hand slips a little, or you're like not super careful, and you're kind of just like, and you make a mark, and it's like not very precise, and therefore it's hard to read, and it's like just doesn't really serve its purpose. But it's okay. It's definitely gonna be too bright, but it's fine because it'll mix with what's down. Oh, I see.
And for those of you who are still watching, have been watching all this way through, and if you haven't liked or subscribed to our channel, we'd greatly appreciate it. I know it's a weird time to give that little ask, but we greatly appreciate your support there. So, George, we are filming this at the Art Academy in New Jersey. It's the brick and mortar school where Kevin has taught for, is he coming on 15 years now? But yeah, the walls here are just lined with high schooler art that's just jaw-dropping. And our co-founder of Evolve, Mitch Bowler, reached out to Kevin and asked him if he thought it'd be possible to make his curriculum and basically to be able to teach people online. And at first Kevin said, no way, it's not possible. And then I don't know how long it was, but they kept thinking about it and thinking how it could be possible. And they set out to actually make it possible. And so that's how Evolve was born. And but the curriculum is exactly the same as this brick and mortar school that we're in right now. So it's pretty cool that we've been able to make the same level of training available online. Yeah, a little bit, George. This direct painting style you could equate it a little bit to painting by number compared to other approaches.
Except you make your own numbers.
Yeah, you have to make your own numbers. You're still assigning the shades and the values and where things go, but having the transfer it's a very efficient and effective method for yielding these paintings. And so it helps you to produce a lot more of them. If you were here earlier, you may have heard me talking about how important it is to learn how to freehand draw. But as far as a method for making these paintings, transfers are great, super helpful, and they allow you to focus on other things than having to juggle the additional factor of managing your shapes and things like that. And of course, in that conversation, I believe it was Dina, was asking about, eventually you lose your transfer and how do you maintain your shapes, and that is through your skill in being able to draw freehand. You have to look at the shapes and compare them to the photograph and continue to make adjustments to get it right. But we teach other techniques as well, some layered approaches, more impasto techniques. So this method that she's using is just a little bit more straightforward and easier for an alla prima. And I guess it's the technique you just wanted to go with, right, May?
Mm-hmm.
What art museums are near us? So the Met is in New York City, which isn't too far away, worth a good trip. There's a museum in Princeton, New Jersey as well.
Yeah, they're currently closed for renovations though. I don't know how long it's gonna last.
Question from Cookworm. Daniel and May, a curious/nosy question, LOL. Do either of you do any other art forms too? Music, writing, etc.?
I used to play violin and piano, and then I quit so I could paint more. And I used to do creative writing pretty often. No, I don't really have time. I am doing a minor in Russian literature though at school, so I think that counts as something pretty creative, pretty cool. But yeah, I guess some music and some writing on my end. What about you?
When I retire, I would like to get into piano. I
Piano's
think it would
lovely.
be really nice. But when I was a kid, my mom wanted me to get into music, and both me and my brother, we basically said no. we our argument was
We don't want to.
we want to pursue other things, and we know that it's a big time commitment, and you're going to have us dabble in it, and but not actually get good at it. And we'd rather get good at other things. And my mom was like,
Wow.
"All right, okay."
It's like a very like adult argument.
Yeah, my brother was really persuasive like that.
It's like we are not
So-
going to tolerate this opportunity cost. Like the utility behind pursuing this is it's just like suboptimal. And you just that's pretty great. I approve.
That face is looking awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. I can't see it.
Don't forget to step back.
I know. I'm not done yet though.
But yeah, so then other than that, I've dabbled in public speaking, and just for fun, I've done some theater. Last year I did some theater, and it was a blast. I had so much fun. Why can't I play piano now? Actually, for the same reasons. I have a lot of interests and passions, and when I have time, I enjoy painting. I enjoy spending time with people, and so it's just when I have that time to be alone, I prefer to jump into painting, and so I'm very content right now. But I imagine that in the future I'd enjoy doing some piano. And I'd really commit to it, I'd let it kind of be an all-consuming journey in learning music. Luis has left. He said needs to leave now. Have a good night. Please pass my congratulations to May. The painting looks great.
Thank you.
Barbie said, look at that face.
What does it look like? Tell me about it. This is suboptimal.
Yeah, so, okay, more art therapy questions for everyone in the chat. How does this painting make you feel?
Tired.
It's the only question I know how to ask. But what comes to mind when you look at a face like that? And this is really attributing to Alexandre Cabanel, right, who made this original painting. But yeah, what about this figure, this fallen angel, speaks to you? What's compelling to you about it? Would love to hear your thoughts. And do you see anything about May's renditioning of it that maybe gives it a slightly different take?
What's the twist?
What's the twist? Oh, look at that teardrop. Ooh, I love that.
May falls backwards.
Awesome.
Thank you. I have to fix the hair like a lot. Yeah.
Man, I feel bad for anyone who looked away at that moment. The teardrop just went in.
Yeah,
It's funny how it
if you
happens.
stuck around this whole time and you missed that, I would be like sad for you.
Oh.
But it's okay. This is being uploaded, so you're not actually missing anything. I need a better value range, and thicker paint. Time to mix it myself on my brush, because that's definitely how I'm supposed to do it.
Rena said that her interpretation is unhappily thinking, with an emoji thinking face.
Well, the original isn't particularly happy either, so.
And Sarah Price said, makes me wonder what is happening or happened that caused the fall.
Daniel, you should pop off on this one. You know.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier.
Yeah, it's a really cool story.
What did I say? Let's see. Let me recollect my thoughts. That was like a few hours ago. Right. So I was talking about. So in the Abrahamic traditions and religions, or I guess maybe I would say specifically in the more Christian ones, looking at the what the text in the New Testament. But let me pull it up actually, because there's some interesting information about the angels that to me adds some depth to what Alexandre Cabanel was really talking about. And I want to make sure I get this right, so I'm going to see if I can look up this particular Bible verse I'm thinking of. So yeah, bear with me as I pull this up. I just think this is really interesting. Okay, so in one of the biblical letters in the New Testament, so that would be in the Christian Bible, there's this passage that where basically this the author is talking and and it's basically saying, you know, it's like, okay, so you believe in God, but so what? And that's just me paraphrasing. And then he says, even the demons believe that about God, that God exists. And it says, even the demons believe and shudder. So, which I think that's really interesting. It's like, for one, these fallen angels, right? So fallen angels or demons and fallen angels in the biblical sense are actually like the same. And in the tradition, basically what happened was Satan rebelled and took a third of the angels with him to rebel against God. And there was this big battle between Satan, aka the dragon, and Michael, and they fought in the sky or something, and the dragon was hurled down to earth and became like the prince of the world, and the demons, stayed under that. And so what's happening here is like this fallen angel like knows that it's already lost, like that God is still good, and that like it's like they took a chance on rebelling and they've lost, and now they're just set for condemnation. There's another story where Jesus meets these demons and the demons are like, what? Like, it's not time yet for us to be punished, or something like that. And I hope I'm not butchering it. And so there's sort of this as if they understand that these demons, these fallen angels, understand that there's some sort of punishment that's allotted for them already. And so it's this terrible fate to deal with, to know that your destiny is set for complete despair. And so maybe that's part of what this fallen angel is wrestling with. It's just, complete and utter loss of all goodness. And that is going to be your fate. It's just kind of an overwhelming thought. And so the kind of the anger and the rage, the bitterness and maybe a little bit of remorse that's in the face of this fallen angel, it's pretty powerful, because it's like, it's as if this fallen angel is sort of, it kind of reminds me of Anakin almost. It's like,
he does look like Anakin.
It's like I've fallen to such a degree that I'm just gonna continue. I'm gonna commit and continue on this path of destruction and chaos, in spite of this terrible fate that that is set out for me.
Yeah, like it's
So
gonna
it's
happen
really
anyway.
sad.
Yeah.
What?
Kind of like it's gonna happen anyway. I might as well do as much damage as I can while I can.
Yeah.
That was a mistake, but it's okay.
What was that?
I made a mistake, but it's
Oh.
okay.
Rhiannon said, "This fallen angel reminds me of a spoiled boy who is so mad he is crying tears."
Ouch.
So
No sympathy.
May got her reference. This reference is from a painting by Alexandre Cabanel, Mary Jo, and so this is a master copy.
I wish I came up with this by myself. This is so cool.
But yeah, to me, there's this, looking at that face, there's like this aspect of full commitment to path. I don't know how else to describe that. It's like stealing its resolve. Right, this painting is just, it's just so beautiful.
Thank you. I can't wait to step backwards.
Let's see, catching up on the chat here. Edie is asking, did you guys receive any training in the business aspects of being an artist, like bookkeeping, for example, or did you learn by doing? Excuse you. So, yes, and there's a response here from Rhiannon that I see. So Rhiannon said, so far they do not teach that. They encourage you to sell your work if you want. There are sample contracts and videos that suggest how to price, but no real class on it. Yeah, so let me explain that more. So we don't have it built into our curriculum. Our curriculum and training is completely focused on developing the skills. That being said, we have one-on-one meetings that we make available to all of our students. Unlimited, you can schedule anytime. And so we really encourage for students who want to get serious about making a living and developing a career and those business aspect things, they can have these one-on-one meetings and get really specific about what they want to do with their art as far as a career goes. And we love giving advice like that. Like that's a huge part of why we created Evolve, was to make art more accessible to people, even if that includes being able to make a sustainable living at it. And so, yeah, we have people who have, been going down that path of developing a career and are sharing advice. And so we do a lot of that. But it happens more in a one-to-one situation. It's not like we don't have a whole class and course on it, but we keep it more one-to-one so that it's specific. And that's a big part of that is because part of our philosophy and how to start is to really start focusing on a niche, something that you're passionate about, that you care about deeply, because the chances are is that you've already connected with people who also have similar passions in those things, and you're kind of an expert in that field already, and then you're merging it with your skill in painting, and you have a niche market that is you're able to compete in. And so, and then you keep your prices low to start. Basically, whatever you're willing to exchange your, like if you're going to look at your hourly rate and swap that over, if you could be, working another job versus working on a painting and getting paid the same amount per hour, that's pretty good, right? I mean, you're already basically you'd be breaking even based on what you're already doing. So, anyways, but we go more into it with that kind of one-on-one stuff, but it gets pretty specific to each person, and so we keep it more one-to-one. Oh, okay, so Edie's clarifying. I meant, have you, Daniel and May, received any business training yourselves? So, yeah, I would say, so I mean, as far as business training, I've gone to college and gotten a degree in marketing. But as far as developing my my own niche, for example, and my own work has really been thanks to Kevin, and I imagine for May it's the same. Mm-hmm. Many conversations that I've had with Kevin about same thing on that one-to-one level, talking about the direction that I want to go in with a career in art and everything like that. And so, yeah, Kevin is actually. I don't know if I can say this, but he might be a better businessman than he is a painter. And if you've seen his paintings, that's only a very high compliment. But he's an incredibly savvy businessman, and so, and his business style is of just a very kind of generous style, but it's also grounded in reality and very practical. So it's really cool. It's really, really cool to have learned a lot from him. Feel free to weigh in on that, May.
I feel like I haven't gotten training, but just like substantial conversations. Well, I guess that would count as training. I just haven't like thought about it in that terminology. But yeah, Kevin definitely is a very good authority on business, and a lot of his professional friends know it too, which is pretty cool. I feel like I haven't gotten to like exercise it too much, but it has influenced how I think about a lot of things. So yeah, very very Kevin based, for my understanding of like business and everything. I will be taking a class this semester at college called it's like marketing for small businesses or something. We'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, up until now, it's just Kevin.
Just a friendly reminder, when you're speaking, try speaking to me instead of the panel there.
Yeah, sorry.
You're good.
I was like, I'm still in the talking to myself. Oh, I haven't had any of my coffee.
Just a casual moment of May drinking some coffee right now. How is it?
That was fabulous. Very necessary. Okay, I'm gonna like soften some edges, and then I'm gonna let you guys go because I like feel bad.
Feel bad. We're just enjoying the
I don't
magic
want to hold
right now.
people hostage.
Cookworm said, that stare, the eyes, so intense. Amazing to watch the face develop and jump out in realism.
Thank you.
Following up on Sarah Price's comment, who originally said, makes me wonder what is happening or happened that caused the fall. She added, but also dumb stuff, like I wonder if there are angel perks they lose when they are fallen. Like, do they get normal names and lose the great physique they all seem to have? Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, I would be this angry if I like lost like my physique as well. So I worked too hard.
I like that, Alex. Alex said the angel has the eyes of someone who has nothing left to lose. Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are all feeling emotions.
What emotions are you
That's the
feeling,
point.
May?
I'm feeling carpal tunnel right now. Okay. My hand hurts. I'm good. I'm like glad this didn't take super over time. But I do still need to soften edges, so bear with me. So much red.
Barbie is asking, off topic, what do you do to support your body being a painter? I'm struggling with bicep tendonitis at the moment.
I just go to the gym pretty regularly, and that's just because that's what I like to do, not because I'm a painter. But painting standing is nice. Taking breaks from sitting is also very, very good for you. I try to paint standing as much as I can. And just like keep track of your own posture, I guess, make sure you're not slouching. But like for the hand stuff, like generally just taking breaks is good, and not holding your brush too tightly is also good. Why does that look funny? Stop doing that. Okay. Fan brush. Yeah. Wait, I lied. Oh. Should be getting used to that by now.
I'm gonna, when you're done, May, I'm gonna,
Yeah.
since I've already been moving around the camera so much, I'm gonna move one of the cameras directly in front so that we
Sure.
get a head, like a full-on shot. Because for everyone who's been watching this, you've been looking at this painting from a side angle.
Right.
That's because if we'd be looking at it head-on, you'd be staring at the back of May's head.
Yeah.
And so, but at the end, I'm going to show everyone what this painting looks like head-on. I'm pretty excited to show you. So right now, May is very gently brushing the very surface of the paint, which is going to help take out some of the glare that you might get when viewing the painting. Typically, any horizontal strokes tend to create a little minuscule ridges and will easily catch a glare, whereas strokes that go downwards won't catch any of that glare.
Ta-da! Okay.
Ta-da!
Yeah, I think that's good.
Look at that.
I could do more, but you know.
It might be worth your time to just quickly fill out the top of the sky so that you
Like
can
this
cut it
bit?
down
Yeah.
in a nice
you're right.
little rectangle.
Oh, come on.
Richard Williams said, if you do stand to paint for a length of time, make sure you're wearing good supportive shoes. I agree. This past week I've painted a lot, and I've been standing most of the time. And I tell you, I've been sore for a good while just from basically standing nonstop. So it definitely does help.
Stop.
You said only 3 hours to paint that. You got skill, girl.
Thank you. Hey, stop doing that.
Zoom the camera out a little bit. I'm glad you're okay, George.
Yeah, his hair do go crazy. I just noticed.
His hair do look crazy.
His hair do go crazy. Why am I using this small, silly brush? Come on, just do the thing. Ah. I hope they saw that. If they didn't, it's fine too.
Didn't quite catch that.
That's okay.
But that was some nice ninja moves right there.
Thank you, thank you. There you go. Like, move. Oh, oops. Ah, that's fine.
A question from Edie. How long did it take you to set up your palette?
Like 40 minutes-ish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to say that really. So I had actually invited May to join me for rock climbing this afternoon,
Yeah.
and
Like a good little live streamer, I declined because I was like, I need to mix my colors.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was very just like no.
Yeah. I really wanted to go
But
too. I like
that was a
mentioned it
good
to
move.
Kevin and he was like, oh, like maybe I could help you like mix some of your colors. And I was like, no, I will mix my own colors. Because I don't want someone to ask about the palette and have to be like, yeah, I like took that afternoon off to go like rock climbing and my teacher mixed my colors. Because that's lame. That's awful.
That's right. This is your painting.
This is my painting.
And I have to say, I mean, the colors that are mixed there on the palette have seriously contributed to the quality of this painting.
Yeah.
You know, you haven't had to make any major adjustments on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just stunning, beautiful work.
Thank you.
Well, so I think it's safe to say that the so this has been a bit of a social experiment, right? It's like, how can we, despite all the pressure of live streams and an audience, and having to finish a painting on time, how do we
cope?
How do we cope and see if we can manage? And despite some camera issues, which thankfully didn't affect May at all. May, this is stunning. I'm beyond happy for what you've done in about 4 hours.
Thank you so much. I am almost finished.
And you can see, like, it shows how much you've been enjoying this.
Yeah. I've been having a pretty good time.
Yeah. Pretty good time?
Pretty good time.
The
time
question.
tracks were a little bit like, but you know, it's okay. Question? Sorry.
Yes. Will we see May next Sunday? So no, we're going to take another break.
Yeah, I have a little family vacation
Yeah.
going on.
And then we'll be back again. And, you know, May, I've got to say, I think maybe we do a little more of this.
It's like
But
one-on
we'll see
painting
how
sessions.
We'll see how the views go and what the metrics are. We want to find out if people like this kind of format, you know, because we've basically done these longer series. This is our first, except for we did one with
Like
Kevin.
the portrait demo thing.
Yeah, portrait demo.
That
But
was
this
like
is really
educational.
Right. This is really just
boring.
painting and just kind of chilling out, having fun, talking about whatever, talking about our feelings.
Talking about our feelings. Yeah, so if you like this kind of video, you should promote it to your friends and stuff, and then we'll
share it
maybe
to your
make
friends.
more. If enough people like it. If not, then I don't know what we'll do.
Yeah, please like and subscribe. We appreciate it. And so, yeah, so hopefully this is well received by the general community, and we'll do more of this one-off alla prima stuff. We can, I don't know, we'll see if I can get May away from doing winged figures, but I mean, I'm so happy, May. This is just beautiful. I love that extra detail you just put on the edge of that wing there. It's so nice.
Thank you. Yeah, like there's so much more I could do with it right now, but like it's gonna run like really long, so I'm just gonna let you guys live.
Yeah, Rebecca said, keep them coming, please.
I bet these
Rebecca
are
said,
like a
"Those
lot more
fingers,
satisfying.
though."
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But I said I bet like these are a lot more satisfying to watch. Because you like
Yeah,
something happens at the end.
yeah. That's the idea. And this is actually, you know, I think I talked earlier about confidence and how confidence can help reduce stress when you have a history of success. And we're applying the same philosophy for this live stream, right? It's like, okay, let's see how we do. Let's just have a one-off painting, alla prima. Maybe we'll run into some issues that we don't foresee. But you know, May, you took the time to make a nice palette that's going to get you all set up. You've managed to not let any stress or pressure get to you and under the deadline. We're a little bit over, but no worries there. And but yeah, so this is awesome, and it's great to have this confidence booster. Glenn said, "Long or short, I love it, and I'm here." And that's awesome.
Thanks, Glenn.
Alex said, "You can see that May likes wings from how much the wing stands out in the painting."
Okay. I think I will let you all go.
Okay, so I have to ask May.
Yeah. How do you feel?
Yes, how do you
Oh my
feel
God.
in terms of Old Holland paint color? Has it changed from your original color? Because originally you had pointed to the ultramarine blue. How do you feel now? And this is a question for everybody, so everyone please share how you feel now. For those of you who've been this whole time, we'd love to hear how it's changed. So you can remind us all in the chat which one you chose initially. I know I had chosen salmon, or like a light salmon color. Actually, very similar to the one you just grabbed from. A little bit more salmon. Maybe the one next to it, to the right of that one you just grabbed.
This one?
No, if you,
This one.
That one right there, yep.
Nice.
That was the color I was feeling.
Very good choice.
Well, you mixed it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying that because I'm so funny. Maybe I like this color. A little more
Which
watered
one?
down blue.
Which one?
This one that I mixed here.
Mm.
It's like this color in the wing.
Which color?
This bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying that. I like the role it plays in this painting. It's like the most. It's like one of the darkest lights in like this bit, and it's very like elegant. It's very pretty. It looks almost like iridescent. It almost looks like scales. Not exactly sure why. Why? Something to do with like colors and relationships and stuff, but I'm too brain dead to like figure it out right now.
But you've gone from maybe a darker color to a lighter color, so maybe that implies some of the satisfaction that you've gotten
True.
out of making this painting. I don't want to speak for you, but I guess I
Yeah.
kind of am.
Yeah, I'm like glad I pulled most of it off. So
Yeah. It'd be amazing to see what you do, like if you had,
more time.
even one more hour,
Yeah.
But I think this is a good place to stop. And you do have to sign the painting. We will not turn the stream off until you sign it.
Bro, I'm not emotionally prepared to sign a painting right now. Bro. Okay, give me 2 business days. No, I'm kidding. Oh. All right.
Well, I mean, honestly, if you do prefer to sign it later, that's totally fine.
It's okay. I'll sign it with like blue over here or something.
Okay. Yay. You gonna choose that color that you're feeling?
I think the value's too close to down here, so I want it to like maybe like this one. I think red would look better actually. Or something reddish. Maybe like this.
Mm-hmm. Is that
This would be
a tribute
nice.
to the magenta that was necessary to?
Well, now that you say it, I'm not going to use that color. No, I'm kidding. That's funny. Yes, I'll make that concession. Okay. This one's for you, Kevin. If I mess it up, that's on YouTube. No, I'm kidding. I did it well last time, so I think I got it.
No.
It's like hard to see. It's like not super dark, so. That's pretty good. It's just hard to see. I'll go over it with something.
Yeah, the camera's not. The camera's not focused on that one section, so I'll see if I can give everybody the satisfaction. I don't want to adjust the camera too much.
How's that? That's fine.
How do you feel?
My hand.
Your hand?
Yeah, hand's a little tired. It's okay though.
So how does your hand make you feel?
My hand makes me feel like I've been working hard.
You've been working hard?
Working hard.
Mm-hmm.
This edge is so hard. Why is this edge so... Man, I don't... There's always something, isn't there? This is me talking to the painting. What color do I use to fix this? Probably this one.
It's all right, just
It's
take a breath,
appropriate,
May.
yeah. I can't even rest my hand anywhere now. Wow, this is tragic.
Delicate stroke. Oh yeah, that's a great stroke right
It's a
there.
great finishing. Okay, that's good. That's good.
That's good.
That's good. That's good. Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling better. It's like done. This edge is messed up. Wait, more magenta. I think it's fitting. The last stroke is magenta. So. Yeah. Okay. Elbow structure. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see. Alex said, I'm feeling a Chev green right now.
Time to absolutely chug this coffee at like 11 p.m.
And Sarah Price said, I'm striving to be a Naples yellow, great on its own, but also a helpful support for other colors too. I wonder why you're striving to be a Naples yellow and not quite there yet. I wonder what color you're currently at that is perhaps preventing you from getting. What is the problem here?
I feel like English red is the worst color to be because you're just like way too strong and you pollute everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's my experience with English red. It's like this much and then like whatever mix you put it into, it's like bam, it's like orange and then you have to mix like 20 million parts of like everything else to make it not red again. Yeah. Yeah, English red is the colonizer color.
All right, so I want to
Oh, you're gonna
give
focus
us
the
the little inside look here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have to move some things. I'm gonna turn off our audio for a second.
Okay.
Okay, audio is back on, and hopefully this delicate process, moving the camera, works out okay. See if we can zoom back.
I don't even know what's going on. I can't see. No, my mic's still on.
So there you are, ladies and gentlemen, the exquisite Fallen Angel master copy by Mei Zheng.
Da 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 da.
Da, 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 da. Let's check in on the chat. Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. Really appreciate taking the time, spending with us. I know we went over an hour.
Thank you for
Sarah Price
staying.
said, it's so gorgeous. Rihanna said, this is wonderful. Thank you, May, Daniel.
Thank you for staying, everyone.
Yeah, thank you very much. Very glad to be able to do this for you all and spend this quality time with you all. And yeah, hopefully we'll do stuff like this in the near future. So this is awesome. So just a quick recap, we will not be here for our usual live stream on Sunday. So we will not be here this coming Sunday. The following Sunday, we will be back. And we'll probably come back in to do another painting like this. That's a start to finish painting to keep testing how this goes. And again, thank you everyone. And if you're looking for more Evolve content, then just check out the links in our description. We have a lot of YouTube videos, obviously, but we also have some other courses and things like that that are on our website that you can go check out. And we appreciate your support. Thank you everyone. Please like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. And we will see you in the near future. All right. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much. And have a wonderful, wonderful night. Happy painting.
Thank you.